Hello, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever you are joining me from all over the world today. I want to appreciate you for tuning in to the official introduction of my very first novel. And I'm so excited about it. After having written over 100 books on motivation, Christianity, digital business, regular business, I finally found my way to write the first novel of my life. And I'm so excited about it. And those who know me know that I do not do anything in moderation. I either go big or go home. So I'm starting out with a 10-book series on what is called the Chronicles of Muguland. It's going to have 10 seasons. And the first season is what we are introducing today. The first season is the Kingmaker of Muguland, which is my Facebook is not going live. It's okay. We will let's edit and let's see if this can still go. Otherwise, we're just going to have to play the recording later out there. I don't know what's going on with that. Okay. I don't know what's going on. Oh, because I changed the time, the thing is not going. But it is what it is. I think we are live somewhere. If you can watch me live somewhere, I see already 10 or 12 people who are live with me. So today we are introducing the Kingmaker of Muguland, the very first book in the series Chronicles of Muguland. So this is our season 1 of the Chronicles of Muguland series. First, before I start, I've got some guests with me, a surprising guest in the studio with me tonight. But before I introduce him, let me make a few comments as part of my monologue. You guys know I do 15 minutes of monologue. First, some of you might have received notice from me this morning canceling the official launch that was scheduled for Zoom, which was a big event where I was having about 8 or 9 speakers to come and speak on different issues raised by the book, and to have an official launch, have a launcher, collect my money and all that stuff. But I canceled it, and I want to reassure everybody, because I don't want fake rumors to start. Oh, the government tried to stop him. Government did not approach me. Government has not even spoken to me. They've generally ignored me, as they know it's good for everybody. They know I cannot be silenced. Nobody's going to intimidate me. And that has not happened. Because those of you who are always looking for something to say against the government, you're going to start talking rubbish. No. Okay. I had conversations with myself and some of my close friends and realized that the launch may not be a great idea, because this book is a work of historical fiction. It's not a book that I'm setting up to go and start attacking government and fighting government. And I realized that gathering people in a setting like that, and the kind of people I had invited without really thinking about it, may end up turning it into a political issue. And I am neutral. I give it to the government when they do bad. I give them their flowers when they do well. When Peter Obi doesn't do well, I hit him. When he does well, I hit him. I am an equal opportunity critic now. So, and I don't want to be dragged into the middle of the partisan war, in as much as all of us love our country. So please do not read anything more into it, other than I felt that doing a big conference launch is not the ideal thing for this. After all, it's just a novel I've written. It's a historical fiction novel. It is not based on true events, even though, of course, some parts of it are inspired by events we see around us in Africa. That's number one. And it is so important to me personally that we see like that and receive it. And you all know me. If you know me at all, you know I'm not blowing smoke. If anybody is suppressing me, I'll be the first to say it online. There's nothing like that. It was my choice based on me looking at everything and realizing that it's just better to just do a release right like this on my own terms, on the air, with no other invited guests other than one person I'm going to introduce later, who has been very close to me before any of us even knew anything about politics more than 30 years ago, so we can have an objective discussion. Of course, Mr. Ayo is going to be with me. So I'm very thrilled, as part of to go into my intro now. I'm thrilled to launch the Kingmaker of Muguland, a work that, while fictional, also carries unmistakable, what I call echoes of political realities in Africa, our shared aspirations, and yes, our deepest frustrations. This book matters because it holds a mirror to power everywhere. in Kenya, in Ghana, in Nigeria. It's not specifically limited to one locality. Its allure, its pitfalls, and of course, its far-reaching impact on the human spirit. In Muguland, as in our world, Muguland is a figment of my imagination, is my own retreat into fiction as a way of being able to articulate some of the issues I would prefer we discuss without necessarily getting caught up in real life characters, so that we can discuss this thing in a way that everybody can feel confident to participate. So in Muguland, as in our world, everywhere, politics is not a simple game of leaders and followers. It's a sprawling battleground where ideals collide, secrets thrive, and the line between loyalty and betrayal is razor thin. Through the rise and relentless ambition of the lead character of my book, Chief Bisola Elenium, we see a vivid portrayal of a world shaped as much by personal histories, peer rivalries, as well as by public policies. The Kingmaker of Muguland reveals how our choices, public and private, weave the fabric of society, sometimes for good, oftentimes with unforeseen consequences. But beyond the intrigue, what readers will truly enjoy is the relentless pace of the narrative. That's what I love. The colorful array of characters and the suspense that keeps you on the edge. Yes, a lot of the book will remind you of your experiences, whether it's Nigeria, Kenya, wherever, but you can never foresee the conclusion of my book. It's not anything that you can imagine. You'll find ambition taken to its most extreme, friendships tested by greed, by power, and by ideals, and moments where courage and desperation blend into acts of both heroism and tragedy. And the ending is one for the ages. The story isn't just about a man who wants to be king. It's about what happens when a society grapples with that ambition, whether by embracing it or by fighting against it. In the end, the Kingmaker of Muguland reminds us that in the grand theater of politics, everyone plays a part. Whether we stand in the spotlight or observe on the sidelines, we all play a part. Whether we are critics or we are participants, we all play a part. And my desire, my prayer, my yearning is that may this book inspire reflection, provoke discussion, and perhaps challenge all of us to consider the cost of power and the path that we choose. So with that, I welcome you to the Kingmaker of Muguland. And as always, I love to start this series by playing one of the songs. This book is coming to you in 4 parts, in 4 different formats. There is the book itself, which is driving the whole thing. But then, I don't believe that just releasing a book is worthy of me at this time of my career. It's not a matter of pride. It's just a matter of self-respect. I have to bring something else to the table instead of just writing fiction. So what we have done, we have created several thematic songs that are inspired by chapters in this book. As a matter of fact, we have about 12 songs based on this book alone. Some have been released on Spotify as we speak, under my new artist called the Mugu Prince. Some of it are live on SoundCloud. When you search Mugu Prince right now, you're going to see all his songs there. That's level 2. Level 3 of this is that we have the audio version, which I'm going to be showing you how you can get it at the end of this presentation tonight, so that those who like to listen in gym, in cars, to the audio of the book, they can enjoy that. And number 4, I'm introducing a whole new element. I've not seen that done before, so I like to claim it already. It's called the book to video series, where you write a book, but instead of making a movie about the book, you actually make the book a video. In other words, you can watch the book in video. The text of the video they did not change. I told my video creators, Video 360 Creative, I call them the grandchildren of Sega Segaga, because this is what I started, this kind of started videos for me. Okay, so these young people, about his own age, when he was running a big company for me, those media way back in the early 20s. Okay, I told them I do not want any word of this book changed. In other words, the video interpretation of the book exactly. So you are listening to the book itself, but watching it in video format. It's a whole different type of video creation. We call it book to video format. So those 4 ways, and you're going to enjoy it. We are going to unpack all of it later today, but we have to start with why is a Dr. Ope Banwo who lives in America, lives under so much a country that, of course, all of us, regardless of what we think about it, thinks is comfortable, is doing well. Why will he not stop talking about Nigeria? Why do I keep spending money on politics? During the partisan times, during elections, I'm not going to try to hide or try to hide away from it. You all know I took sides. I was an obedient, though I'm not one anymore. Election is over. And as far as I was concerned, once election is over, everybody go back to living as one country. Apologize to those who hurt during the heat of the debate, rekindle your friendships, and then put the government to the ultimate test by criticizing it when it does well, praising it, criticizing when it does bad, praising it when it does well, while at the same time keeping your patriotism intact. That's where I stand. Okay? Right now, I consider myself an equal opportunity critic. But why do I keep putting mouths in Nigeria? I've been gone from Nigeria since 1995. Yes, I have business in Nigeria. Yes, I have houses in Nigeria. Yes, I have friends in Nigeria. But the truth of the matter is that few will hardly ever see me talk about the politics of America. Even this one, they just finished. I don't think they're ever going to see me talk about Trump or Harris on my pages. Maybe one time after the election, celebrated the winner. That's it. But yet, I can't keep talking about Nigeria. Every little thing, I'm there. Every little go and protest. Every little whatever, I'm there. Why? Then I realized that this is symptomatic of every one of us, even including my special guest in the studio today. He himself is mostly in London, but now he finds himself always coming back to Nigeria. Why? We can't let go. There's Nigeria in us. It's in our DNA. We have a love-hate relationship with our nation, at least for those of us who want to see ourselves as being objective most times, even though there is nobody that is really 100% objective. We all have our perspectives. But somehow, we left Nigeria, but we took Nigeria with us. Even those who are in Nigeria, okay, they love Nigeria today, they hate Nigeria tomorrow because it's in our blood. Those of us in the diaspora especially, we shout, we scream, we don't want to have anything to do with Nigeria again. But guess what? By next week, we are talking about Nigeria again. And I thought, this was a theme I also explored seriously in the book. And I went beyond that. And one of the songs that we did actually reflected that. I sat down and I wrote a song, Why Are We So Much Engaged with Our Nations? And it's not limited to Nigerians. Ghanaians are like that too, with their own nation. Kenyans are like that. I used to think it's only Nigerians that feel it. But as an immigration client, I see all these guys. You hear somebody who's doing well, we say, if only I can just go back home. I'm like, what are you going back home to do? There is no light. There's no job. That is my country. Then I realized that the disease is not limited to only me or those of us in America. Those in London are the same. Okay, and I wrote a song celebrating the diaspora who cannot let go of their nation. We do not hate our nation. We are not unpatriotic when we criticize. It's just who we are. We have a love-hate relationship with our country of birth. And that song is called Muguland Forever. Hope you enjoy it. When we come back, I will introduce my special guest in the studio. Enjoy.
Muguland forever. Though you break my heart, I can't run away. No matter how hard, through the pain, the struggle, I'm still holding tight. Muguland forever. You are my love, my fight. 5 years in school, now I'm stuck in the rain. A degree in my hand, got no job to gain. I try to move on, but I keep looking back. Muguland, you've got me still on track. Records breaking backs for a little pain. Enough to survive, but we live day to day. I could hate you for all of the tears we cry, but Muguland, you've got my soul in the sky. Muguland forever. Though you break my heart, I can't run away. No matter how hard, through the pain, the struggle, I'm still holding tight. Muguland forever. You're my love, my fight. Leaders who promise promise but never come through. We suffer in silence till we push through. We scream out in anger but it fades in the air. Yeah, Muguland's in my veins, I can't leave you there. The roads are rough, the power's never on. Floods hit our homes but somehow we're strong. I dream of a life in a faraway land, but Muguland, you're the home I can't disband. Muguland forever. Though you break my heart, I can't run away. No matter how hard, through the pain, the struggle, I'm still holding tight. Muguland forever. You're my love, my fight. We curse and we cry, we say that we're done, but when the day's over, you're still the one. We try to escape, but we carry you to Muguland. Muguland, I belong to you. Streets full of pain, somehow they call me back again. I love you, I hate you, I can't walk away. Muguland, you own my heart every day. Muguland forever. Though you break my heart, I can't run away. No matter how hard, through the pain, the struggle, I'm still holding tight. Muguland forever. You're my love, my fight. Muguland forever. Though you break my heart, I can't run away. No matter how hard, through the pain, the struggle, I'm still holding tight. Muguland forever. You're my love, my fight. The pain, the struggle, I'm still holding tight. Muguland forever. You're my love, my fight.
That is Muguland Forever, one of my favorite songs among the many songs that are accompanying this, my special official first novel. Well, without much ado, let me bring in my guest on the show. With me, of course, tonight is Mr. Ayo Bakare. Ayo Bakare has been what I call my consultant in terms of how to structure the whole thing. He was involved in the video creation, also involved in the countdown. Ayo, thank you and welcome to the show. Say hello to the audience.
Thank you so much, Dr. Banwo, for having me. I really appreciate being here. Audience, hello. I wish you guys an interesting moment. The King of Muguland is an interesting part of the Muguland series. You need to go out there and grab a copy of the book. It illustrates the political scenarios of our time, especially from the issue of Gen Z to the youth to the adults. This is one piece that will elicit your cognitive skills in a versus the political scenarios or environments you live in all over Africa. This is a bestseller. Thank you so much for having me up here.
All right, thank you so much. And then, of course, we have Mr. Stephen Oyeleye, who's a manager at the Video 360 Collective. Those are my partners in creating all those videos that you're going to be watching, the musical videos that we're going to be seeing tonight, as well as the book to video series. Himself and his 12-man team, without ever having done videos before, they joined what I call, I created a Video 360 Collective of guys who want to learn how to create videos with graphics. And it was one of the 12 people that I selected out of over 100 that I applied. And over a 3-month period, they've been working and learning how to create graphic videos. And they've done an amazing job for me and with me on the Kingmaker of Muguland that has now become a full-blown series on YouTube. It's a 53-episode series that is actually debuting tonight. And they're also already working even on the follow-up to book 2 of the Chronicles of Muguland series, The Children of Anger. They're going to be working on all the video creation for that. So thank you so much, Stephen, on behalf of your entire team. I want to thank you so much for the work that you guys have done over the last 2 months. Say hello to the audience. Okay, I think it's muted. All right, of course, while we're waiting for Stephen to get his show together out there, I have a good friend. I call him a friend, a protege, a junior brother. All of it rolled into one, a partner. I don't know what to call him. I came across this gentleman, okay, way back in 2004. Let me even bring him up as I talk a little bit about him so that I can see his face. This gentleman, I met him for the very first time. He was a scrappy 20-something-year-old, very, very savvy. And I'm looking at him. I was the CEO of Dove Media. And then I interviewed him and appointed him as the, believe it or not, I think it was in his very, very early 20s, as the technical director of Dove Media. You know, I myself didn't know anything. So I'm like, what do I have to lose? So, but within a few months, this gentleman, I have to give him his flowers wherever I find him, was able to transform a team. Everybody under 30 years old, everybody, maybe with the exception of one guy. And I'm talking about more than 20, 30 people in his department, transform them into the best technical team for videos and audio in Africa with Dove Media. They coordinated in releasing so many of the products that are still being enjoyed today, including Dove Vision. And since then, of course, he has gone on to do great things. After we left Dove Media, I left Dove Media in 2005. And I think right short after that, he also left. And then he's gone to great things. Many of you know him more as the man who started NSAS movement. I remember when he started NSAS, like maybe 4 or 5 years before the Stephen, you want to mute yourself. 4 or 5 years before we got to the before the riot, the demonstration that ultimately became a riot. Before that, I was seeing Sega. It was on Instagram. Okay, I'll just see him do something. I'll just say NSAS. I'll see a picture of police. I'm like, what is this guy doing? So I called him. I said, which way I go to the NSAS? Then he tried to explain to me about police brutality and about how he's trying to create awareness. So I was stunned when the NSAS thing became a mega issue later, culminating in the national demonstrations where they actually even got the whole NSAS itself abrogated. People have never, I don't know if those who are following history, I have one of my chronicle series actually focused directly on that episode for the first time in history where a group of young people were able to get government to actually scrap a whole police department. Unfortunately, things went out of hand from there. He's here tonight. Maybe I'll press him a little bit about that or not. And then I think there was some falling out, and I think he had to officially remove himself from the NSAS process before the unfortunate tragedy that happened. I think about a week or two before that, they had their own thing going on. But I've always admired him as a man who stands his ground. In fact, during the election, me and him also had our own issue but through it all, he remained respectful, and I have to give him his flowers tonight. He could have been nasty. He just told me privately, "Okay, you're my daddy. I will never do this to you publicly, what you just did." And I want to appreciate you for that, because I went at him very hard, maybe unfairly. But again, when you are in obedience, then you are you are vicious. So I went after him viciously, but he received it well. He didn't release his own, unlike my own obedience, who actually went after me because they didn't like some of the things I said. Sega took it like a very matured man. He did say something to me privately that I was not happy about it, but he never came out to me in public or sent his own people, even though he had times 10 the followers I had. So I have to give you a special appreciation for that. I'm not going to apologize for NSAS, it's whatever it is, or obedient is whatever it is, but I want to appreciate you for being very mature and for continue to keep up that relationship regardless of our differences of opinion at that time. And I thank God now I'm now in the neutral ground, so we can probably be more friends. So I give you guys Segaga. Sega, say a few words to the audience before we go on.
Thank you very much, sir. My pastor, my leader, my boss, and someone who has, left an indelible mark in the sands of time over the years. And I must always and forever appreciate the opportunity that you have extended to someone like me, and which has created the kind of foundation that has birthed so many things that they don't even give you credit for today. But I will never forget what you have done, and I will forever remind Nigerians and remind everybody that I'm talking to that there are leaders out there who upon whose shoulder that we are standing on. They are the ones that make us look as if we know what we're doing. If not for the opportunity that we've been granted, all this will not be done. And of course, there will be in life. Life is all about experiences, and those experiences shaping who we are. If we are patient enough, if we show understanding, if we show maturity enough, there's no how we're not going to build our character in the process. And as a word, no bird will change his feathers simply because the weather is bad. So I really want to appreciate all that you have done, and especially on this project, King of Muguland, the explosive saga of an ambitious kingmaker who must be king, and all the other movie series that you have lined up. It is an exciting, innovative way of storytelling, which I believe that we'll say more about as we proceed. But good luck, kudos, well done, and you know you can always call on me at any time. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, Sega Segaga, ever matured man. He's always been like that too. Even in his early 20s, when he used to carry, it was from him I saw Mac computer for the first time. He has this white laptop he's always carrying around. We say, oh God, we need to get me. I don't know which one is which. But God bless you, man. I appreciate you and for what you do. A lot of people don't know about your charity work in the background. They don't know what you do in terms of helping to shape media stuff to help Nigerians understand better. But we know, and we want to continue to appreciate you for your work, and also for standing your ground even when things get tough. That is the measure of a man. Sometimes I see you under the hailstorm. I'm like, this my boy will kill me one day. But you're always standing up to the ideals I've come to respect you for. All right, let's appreciate some of the people in the audience with us tonight. I know that I robbed you guys of a formal lunch, but we are doing great here tonight. Blessing Agba, thank you so much to join us. Yewande Odebi, thank you so much. We are live, I think, on Facebook, on LinkedIn, I think. I think the link on Instagram is really not working. I don't know what happened, but we are here. And this is being recorded, and we probably will do a rebroadcast later. Thank you, Yetunde, for coming in. I appreciate you for always supporting the work. I see you, Sonny Oyeronke. Thank you so much for joining in. And of course, my secret weapon, Babatunde Abdullah Bayo, my shadow. Thank you so much for coming in. I'm not going to expose you too much. That's one of my guys that don't come out. All right, Grace Okafor. Thank you so much for being here. Say glad to be my coach. Yes, I'm glad to be your coach, and I'm also honored to be your coach. Here is Clementina Olomu, one of the top video broadcasters or movie, I call it television broadcasters and journalists in Nigeria. She says, the book of the now and the future, Africans' preparedness and Nigeria's readiness, the Millennium Book for the Prof of Politics and the Man on the Street. We move. Yes, definitely, Clementina, we move. All right, I see you, Lord Samuel. Muguland, yes, maybe I will appoint myself the president of Muguland. Let me just carry the ballot and just run away with it. What can you guys do to me? Okay, Chris Adelugba, one of our bloggers out there, one of our top level bloggers there. Oga, you don't see me, Abi. Sorry, I apologize. If I should have also shared the preview of the book with you so that you can blog about it on your blog. My apologies, my man. I'm so sorry. I should have done that, but you are here. And we're going to, my show is almost daily now, so you can be part of it. Okay, Oluwa, Sheung, Treasure Agbola, I see you say, nice seeing the boss again. Yes, now seeing the boys who have become men. Good to see you, and well done on the great stuff that you are doing. We are seeing it. Ebegbe Osai, glad to be here. And on and on and on. I can't recognize everybody, but I just want to celebrate you. Prince Taiwo Adeji say, best coach ever. Now you like me, okay? Because I used to harass my coach, my students a lot. I'm glad that you love me now. God bless you. Okay, people, let's get to it. Today is the day we're introducing several things. First, I want to talk about the YouTube channel. This book, like I said before, is going to be syndicated as a series, as a 53-episode series on YouTube, because I know some people like it in short bursts. Okay, we're going to be dropping an episode every day for the next 30 days. So it's going to be a 30-day run before we go to the next season. So please, you want to go to this YouTube channel now and help me support it. I want you to subscribe. YouTube.com at MugulandNation.com at Muguland Nation. Okay, it's the anchor to everything I'm trying to do here. So that because I'm always very transparent, this is a monetized YouTube channel. So every time you watch any of our videos, YouTube actually pays us a little money. Maybe it's 1 cent, maybe it's 2 cents. That is the best place we are planning to monetize this, as I'm going to be giving a lot of the book away today. And it does not happen without your support. So please help me out here. You want to go to that channel right now as we are talking, because I'm going to be giving away the first 50 people to subscribe from this minute. Okay, Bayo, can you help me go to the channel and then start to help me write down the names of subscribers? The first 50 people to subscribe from this moment that I announced it, I'm going to give you a free copy of this book. This book is right now on Amazon. Now you can go check it yourself right now. The Kingmaker of Muguland. Go check it on Amazon. It's $19.99. That's in Nigerian money. That is over like 35 or 40,000 naira. I'm going to be giving away 100 copies tonight, but 50 of those will go to those to the first 50 to subscribe to the Muguland channel. I think we have about 3,000 followers already from our countdown that we've been doing, but we need to. So please go ahead, and that is how you are going to be supporting this book, because every time you watch any of our episodes, you actually end up paying me some money there. Hey, I like to be very honest. It's $19.99, and YouTube, because we have a monetized YouTube channel now, we actually get compensated for every view. So for doing that, you are getting a 35,000 naira book. I'm going to tell you how much to buy this today. It's not 35,000. It's not 20. It's not even 15. We're going to talk more about that. But you get a free printed copy. I have very limited of those. I don't do print copies, but I will get you print copies to 2 locations in Lagos, one in Lagos, one in Abuja, that you can go pick it up or call them. Arrangement. Of course, if there's postage involved, you have to pay that through your courier. But if you can pick it up, you're going to get it up for free. All right, let's go do that. It's Osai Ebegbe say you have subscribed. Thank you so much. Oh, I see Irene. Okay. Irene say 1 cent. 1 cent, they matter. If I got 1 million views, that's $10,000. So it looks like a joke to you. It's a lot. Sometimes 5 cents, sometimes 10 cents. But hey, trust me, those little cents is what make people millionaires. But you're going to figure it out later. All right. So thank you guys so much for that. We are going to be having that book. In fact, the premiere of the first episode, we are going to be watching it today together on YouTube every day at 8 p.m. Nigerian time. A new episode will debut. Okay, it's about each episode is about 26 minutes. We join 2 or 3 chapters together to make like a 30-minute episode, more like a TV program. So that way you can watch it and then until we run out of episode. Okay, so Mr. Sega, I think I sent you, I don't know if you've had opportunity to read. I know you're a very busy man. You've been traveling up and down. I was going to say, what's your general take on this book before we go forward?
All right. Thank you very much, sir. Let me just stress from the beginning that this piece of work, this piece of literature, this masterpiece of storytelling and narrative, it's a novel that is a complete work of fiction, just as it has been said. But people don't read the fine print. The characters and events depicted in the novel are fictitious, and any resemblance to actual persons, living or dead, are actual events is purely coincidental and as a result of wild imagination of the reader. And maybe somewhat undocumented, but at least somewhat the imagination of the writer as well. Because 2 things happen during communication. In the communication highway, information is passed and information is also received. So when you're reading a book that is good enough, you're going to have your imagination painting pictures in your head while you are reading those stories, especially if they have familiar themes with something that is in reality. And also for the fact that the book is more or less an animated series in some sort, if you're going to the YouTube channel to watch the videos and to listen to the narrative of the whole thing, it carries you along, it puts you in the novel. Just like when you watch a horror movie in those days, you make yourself part of the character of the horror movie. When something happens, you begin to care about the characters. So that's how this book have been written. And I'll give you my own insight, having gone through the book, that it is not something that is totally out of the blues. It's something that has been a continuous theme in the history of Africa. The use of allegories and fictional literature have been a powerful tool for political discourse, serving multiple purposes. And you can say that the key function of writing things or documenting history in this form is number one, to bypass censorship. If I to say, oh, let us put this analytic effect, this story, let's tell this story, a lot of people are going to have their own versions. And truly, if 10 people watches if you have 10 people watch a fight or an incident, you have 10 different stories. 10 different stories
Mm.
coming out of that particular thing. So everybody will want to say my own view is superior to the other person's view. So without that, when you use allegory, you clear away all those doubts, because the principal feature or theme of that particular incident will be brought out through that illustration. It takes a lot to be able to do this. It takes exceptional talent and understanding to make this kind of masterpiece. Secondly, making complex political issues accessible to a wider audience. There are certain things that we did not really understand, happening in our environment, in our society, in our polity, that this book will begin to put in proper perspective, even though they are not um, written based on factual events, but they are based on factual themes that are familiar to us, that can bring us the kind of understanding that we need. Also, it also helps in preserving cultural memory and resistance to certain things that we have normalized ourselves. You remember, a camel does not see his own hump. When you see a
Mm.
camel, it doesn't know how his hump looks like. So sometimes you need to show the camel that this is how your back looks like, so that we can call abuke an abuke instead of Bodate Hindu. In other words, we can say that a hunchback is a hunchback, not the man whose back is hurting him. That's not what you are. So these kind of books help situate things properly. And lastly, creating political consciousness through relatable narrative, something you have seen the thing, you don't understand the concept, but this book puts it all together with fictional characters that makes you understand what is going on in your society. Now, I'll give you historical connections to this, because when I read a book, I want to put it in the proper context of how what dents does it put in a body of knowledge? What
Mm.
does it do for education? How does it cut across different sectors and fields enough for people to be able to embrace it? If you look at the history of colonial resistance across the Africa as a whole, there are so many things and so many stories that we can look at. But rather than looking at specific events, which we may not have accurate accounts of, you can look at writers like Chinua Achebe in Things Fall Apart, who uses allegory to critique colonialism. You look at the fiction provided a safer way to express anti-colonial sentiments without writing something that some other people will now use as a weapon in their own resistance, on their own agitation, that will cause problems for both the writer and those who have the book. That's why in some countries they burn books. They destroy
Mm.
those evidences because it causes more problem than it's trying to solve. So traditional folklores and storytelling like this were adapted to address political themes. And that is exactly what Dr. Ope have done masterfully well with this. When you look at also post-independence commentaries, you look at the story by Ungigiwa Thiongo. It's a work critique neo-colonialism and political corruption. It's one thing to say this is bad. It's another thing for you to come and say you are the savior and then make it worse, and do worse than you have ever criticized. So
Mm.
animal imageries and folklores often represent political figures and systems. That's where allegory comes from, like Animal Farm, 1983, and all those books. They did that. So writers use these fictional narratives to explore failed promises of independence. We can say the same thing of June 12th. We can say the same thing of, there's so many themes. But notable example that I can rival with what Dr. Ope have done, it look very simple, but I know how difficult it is to even write a 10-page novel. So if you look at the book of the works of Ayikwe Ama, the beautiful ones are not yet born. It speaks to corruption allegory. So if you read the book, you may not be able to say, well, for those who are younger, you may not be able to say this is who is talking about, but the story on its own paints a picture that makes you understand certain things that will never let you subject yourself to corruption or to corrupt leadership ever again because of what you have learned from that story. Secondly, Ben Okri's The Famished Road, begins to talk about political magic realism. How political magic occur? In what forms do they come through? Without mentioning anything. But the themes are familiar. The stories are things that we can all relate to and connect to. And lastly, Wole Soyinka's plays. The traditional Yoruba mythology, which and political commentary, which opens our eyes to a lot of things, from Trial of Badajero to You Must Set Dawn, set forth at dawn, to all the novels that they have ever written. They all speak to something without you saying so naming individuals that are living or dead. But we all get the idea and we all get the story. So what Dr. Ope has done is commendable, is formidable, is something that we must all embrace and read, educate ourselves, enlighten ourselves. It is not enough to say, I disagree with certain things. You see, an educated mind don't fight over nuances. If anybody will write anything that will get you angry, then you are not educated enough. Because they are speaking of the opinion and perspective. And if you're a lover of human rights, if you're a lover of human dignity, you must not invalidate the reality of any individual. Thank you very much, Dr. Ope, for the opportunity, and I really appreciate you.
Wow, that's some amazing book review. I knew Sega was going to do great justice to it. I had to think far and wide who is the guest I'm bringing tonight that can present it in a very frank, at the same time, make it objective. So thank you so much for doing that. Mr. Ayo, what is your take on the book? You have been on it all week, so I want to hear what you have to say about it. And I love Sega's allusions to some of the great writers there that I can only pretend I want to be like the.
Well, Dr. Banwo, I don't really know what to say because it's as if Sega has said it all. So I don't even know where I'm going to start to add or to minus or to duplicate or to multiply.
Just say I adopt the submission.
Okay, I second the motion. Totally adopt.
Second the motion. Thank you so much, Sega. Actually, funny enough, I was telling myself when I decided I was going to go into this area of historical fiction that after all, then Wole Soyinka are wrapping up. Chinachebe, them have gone. The Ngugu Atogo, who are those who are going to be following them now? Why can it not be me too? At least let me do my own little part. I'm already 60, but let me start. There may be the younger ones, like Stephen and Co. It is, and Sega hit it on the money. That was actually what's on my own mind, where you can escape into fiction to also be able to then focus attention on the themes that matter to you: corruption, political progress, youth agitation, and all that, so that you don't have to get, how will I call it, limited by fidelity to the accurate transaction of events. Because if I were to do that, for instance, one of the books in this series is called Shattered Hopes. That's the season 3. I just finished that. In fact, that one is even live on one of the sites now, but I'm going to be launching it officially like January. It's about Nigeria's independence, 1960 to 1966. I've always had vision of writing the whole history of Nigeria from that 1960 to date. The one on, but I could not get it done because there's a place there, for instance, where they said they're talking about Nigeria specifically now, not even Muguland now. That's why I stopped to write about Nigeria. And I had to create a fictional country so that I'm not limited by what really, because there'll be so much fight. Somewhere in the narrative, if I were to ask a Sega or I were to ask an Igbo guy, they're going to give me 2 different accounts of what happened between Awolowo and Ojukwu, for instance. There is the story where they said they had a meeting and then Ojukwu and Awolowo agreed that if the East secede, Yoruba will secede. The Awolowo is denying that. The Yorubas are saying that meeting never happened. Nobody was there. So if you were to write a book, a real historical account of Nigeria, if you put that in your book, fight starts. But as fiction, now I have the liberty to be on any side I want or create a whole new scenario. And that's what we're trying to do. That's what Chinachebe did. When he was writing how that things fall apart. Okay? If you had mentioned a specific person and a specific household, voila, they will not focus on the issues being raised. people will over focus on the personality. So thank you so much, Sega, for that knockout review. I mean, if you can get an Ayo to just submit, you know you have done work. Because Ayo is a very, very opinionated guy, and his analysis also is 100% on point. All right, let's keep it moving. Before we go, let's have a little bit more fun again. Today is the official throwdown of the Kingmaker of Muguland. Towards the end of the broadcast, I'm going to be showing you how you can get it in different forms. I even have a combo version where you're going to pay just one price and you're going to get all the Chronicle series that is still coming that I've not yet written. You're going to get the book version. You're going to get the audio version. That is for the big boys. It's called the combo version of the book. The main book itself, if that's all you want, we're also going to be doing it at a highly discounted price. You're not going to be paying that $19.99 that is selling up. So hanging with me over the next hour, we're going to be unveiling the special deal for today only, of course. And then after that, everybody can get it on the website. The website is kingmakerofmuguland.com. If you got to go there now, you'll be able to buy, but you don't want to buy there today. You actually want to get this special deal that I'm about to give you in the next few hours. But before we go on, like I said, we have several videos to celebrate different parts of this book. And then when we come back from that video, we are now going to start to introduce the characters just for 30 seconds each so that I can get an idea of the characters coming in this book. So the video I want to show now, we have several of them, but the one I think is very appropriate right now because the whole story of the Kingmaker of Muguland may want to create an impression about maybe this Muguland nation, which represents a typical African country, of course, Nigeria inclusive, in a fictional way, that maybe nothing much good is happening there. But I believe that Nigeria, Ghana, Togo, Kenya, most of the countries of Africa, we are so blessed with so many resources by the Creator, from human mind to natural resources, but somehow we cannot get it together. And that is part of the source of the anger of people like me, people like Sega, people who are critics out there, because we feel we can be better in so many areas. So we come out, but we cannot forget how beautiful our nations are in Africa. I wanted to do that to make sure we never lose picture of how great our nations can be, even when we have major issues. And we're going to dwell into all of that, ballot snatching and all of that. Yes, we have videos for those also. But I want to keep this going in with one of the songs I like the most in the collection of the Chronicles of Muguland series by Mugu Prince, called Muguland the Beautiful, just to show how beautiful our nations can be. When you watch this video, you're going to see Nigeria. Everything there applies to Nigeria. When you watch it, you're going to see Kenya. Everything there also applies to Kenya. When you watch it from Ghana, everything there applies, because we have this commonality in our nations of Africa. It's called Muguland the Beautiful, inspired, of course, by the beauty of the African countries, especially my own country, Nigeria, that I was born in. Enjoy.
Muguland, beautiful, shining through the rain. From the mountains to the seas, we rise again. With our land so green and our hearts so true. Muguland, the beautiful, all eyes on you. From arable lands where the harvest grow wide, the envy of nations with blessings worldwide. Sunshine that warms us, no frost bites in sight. Our weather's a gift in the day and the night. Brains that amaze and hearts full of fire. The world sees our talent, we rise even higher. We build and we shine, no challenge too tall. Mugulanders rise, we conquer it all. Muguland, beautiful, shining through the rain. From we rise again. With our land so green and our hearts so true. Muguland, the beautiful, all eyes on you. Every hardship we face, we rise in style. Over 250 tribes with a culture so rich, born from the past where traditions stitch the riches below. From oil to gold, natural wonders that never grow old. From diamonds to gas, we've been truly blessed. The world looks to Muguland,
tells a story from jollof to stew, pepper soup that warms and fufu too. A taste of our land in every bite. The world craves our flavors both day and night. We laugh through the pain, our spirits don't break. With joy in our hearts and love that we make. Muguland's a treasure for all to behold. A future so bright, a story untold. Muguland, beautiful, shining through the rain. From the mountains to the seas, we rise again. With our land so green and our hearts so true. Muguland, a beautiful, all eyes on you. Muguland, the beautiful, shine. From the mountains to the seas, we rise again. With our land so green and our hearts so true. Muguland, a beautiful, all eyes on you.
Muguland, that's how I see Muguland in my head. All eyes on us in Africa, all eyes on Nigeria. We need to get our act together. The whole creation waits for the manifestation of the children of light. We are specially situated in Africa. What do you think of that song? Let's say, what do you think of that song, Sega? You know, you are the technical guy. What do you think of that?
I think
That's straight from Steve and his team. Yes.
thank you very much, sir. I think sometimes and most of the time we need to realize that the truth is like oil. No matter how much water is poured on it, it will always float. So the attempt to hide the truth is fallen, and it will always linger until it reveals itself. Whether through songs, through theater, through creative works, through books, through allegories, through commentaries, through fiction, works of fiction, through artworks, it will always be there. When you live in a country where impunity is legal, where might is right, where the loudest voice is the truth, whether where economic losses are not quantified on the national basis but on the individual level, where security impact assessment or impact assessments of policies are not done before policies are launched, in a country where national image and national identity is neither here or there, it's a foreign language, nobody cares how the country looks, in a country where the moment you see a Danfo or you see a Molwe, you can see the actual theme of your country. You can actually see the values of your country. You can see the tenets of your country, where the maintenance culture is not there, but maintenance budget is paramount, for sharing, where metrics don't matter, where data is nothing, where anybody, Dr. Ope is very honest here, saying this is the work of fiction. There are people who will write fictitious stories and pass it out as works of investigative journalism. And there will be people who will embrace it and take it as the holy grail. We live in a country where somebody can put a bottle, pee in it, put it at the market square, dance around it in the morning, and by evening, a full congregation is around him, donating money and building edifices. That's exactly where we are. So songs like this remind us of who we are, reminds us of the value that surrounds us, remind us of the environment that we have found ourselves and how we can make the best of it, and also reminds us of our legacy to our children, and also to unborn generations. And I think it's commendable, and it's something I believe will go far, in waking up the consciousness of Nigerians. And if we can add a bit of challenge to all these songs and put them on TikTok, our Gen Zs will be able to embrace it better. Thank you, Dr. Ope, and well done.
All right. Yeah, it's coming to TikTok powerfully, all the 20 songs. I'm going to sequence it out over the next 30 days, and the TikTok generation is going to have their say, definitely. But Mr. Ayo, what do you say about the song? Now we are just talking about it.
Well, let me say this first. I've never seen Ope from the point of view of a songwriter. I've seen scientists, I've seen a pastor, I've seen a coach, I've seen a producer, I've seen a director, I've seen a lecturer,
buckle up.
Journalist, I've seen a preacher, I've seen a netpreneur, I've seen a wealth creator, but I've never really seen Ope as a songwriter. And looking at the songs, the soundtrack for this Muguland series, I'm really shocked. But I've even seen rap. I've seen rap, hip hop, 8 bars. I'm like, seriously,
It's
quite serious,
coming. Hey,
quite
hey,
seriously,
hey, hey.
seriously. No, seriously, 8 bars. I mean, no, fantastic, man. I know you're a man of creativity. For me, I see a narrative that embraces and integrates African pride. I see an expose of what the youth yearn for and the pride of the aged people. I've seen an Africa we dream of, an Africa we wish we had. Muguland sort of impacts us in a certain way that feels as if we live within rich abundance, but we suffer neglect. So I don't know why people can have so much wealth and live in so much poverty. I mean, that really baffles me a lot, you know. There's so much wealth around us, but there's still so much poverty. There's so much joy, but there's still so much sadness. And the song is more of a song of hope. You know, this is what we yearn for. This is the solidarity we seek. Yes, and from an Africa of our own. It reminds me of the poem of David Diop, Africa, My Africa. You know, way back, we used to read way back those days, you know. Africa, a land of green, you know, was a very lovely narrative, that poem that year. And then it was a poem that gave you hope and joy in the nation. It was a post colonial poem that looked at Africa in richness, in culture, in a level of expectation from the youth, not the Africa we see today. You know, not Africa today. I wish a lot of people could relate with that song, but I will not lie to you, Doctor. It's not reality we live in. The song is a song of hope. It's not the reality we live in. It's a song of hope. It's a song of hope of those that still believe in this country that things can be better. And that's where it is. You know, I will hold on to that hope. I will hope one day we'll see the Africa we dream of. Sincerely.
All right. Yeah, I hear you 100%, and you're correct. The song is aspirational. How we're going to break it down into the reality now, because we're about to go into that, and it starts to get a little bit uncomfortable because I'm going to first put Sega on the line on that. Sure, we have done the nice ones, but the truth of the matter is that just like Sega said, and just like you also said, we have to remain aspirational no matter what we are going through, because no matter the situation we are in, we can be better. And when we don't keep the positivity in front of our eyes, all we see is negativity. And that is where, for instance, when you look at Nigerian situation, let's just call it, okay, where, for instance, we know that our government can do a lot much better than they are doing. I'm one of the biggest critics of this government with my Mayor Fadeyi blog, right? But if you don't imbue it with occasionally with elements of positivity, you have the tendency of actually calling into those things that are not. You are trying to, your reality will then become the bad things. But if you are constantly remembering where you're coming from, where you need to be, even though you are fighting right now to make things better, then you have a chance of being able to move the country a little bit forward towards improvement. But if all you see is negative, even when they do good things, you decide you're not going to see that, then all that will ever happen to you is negative. And that is one of my own major issues with some of the movement we have, which we are going to talk about at length. There is no government that is 100% bad. I always say that to them, but they drag me when I say no. Do you have, if I'm not doing well, it's like a child. If a child is not doing well, but all you have to say to it is that it's not doing well, it can never do well. But if every once in a while you see one little thing that it does right, you say, well done, you've done this one well. They are much more likely to take you more serious when you criticize. But when you never have anything good to say, they will say, okay, want to see better. Okay? So for me, that song is to remind me and remind us to keep in focus what our nation can be. All right, now Sega said something, because when he was critiquing that song, he had mentioned something about political corruption and all that. So I want to ask you this, because this is a theme that was explored bigly in this book. How come we can't seem to have a clean and clear election in our countries? And I'm not talking just Africa. I'm talking about Muguland identified countries. Nigeria is one of them. Ghana, Kenya, South Africa is getting close to that too now. They used to be better, but we don't know where they are now. What's going on? Why can't we sing? Okay, and to me, because Sega is gone, I wanted really him to first respond to this, but maybe I'll take Ayo while we wait for him to get back. He's gone black on me. Can you still see Sega? Is it only me that is not seeing him? Okay, it's back. Okay. So I was going to raise the issue of political turmoil when it comes to our elections, because it didn't start yesterday. It didn't start in this 2024 in Nigeria. It's been there for a long time. It didn't start same way in Kenya. They've all had it. Why is that such a big deal for us? Because again, every time we talk about this, we tend to blame the leaders. Let me say something here before I even throw you guys into this. My views have changed a little bit. Okay, I still blame the leaders who are the ones orchestrating it, but I blame the followers more. I blame the youths more. Yeah, I'm going to give youths a lot of kudos later in this program. I gave them kudos in this book. I actually wrote a whole book about them called The Children of Anger. So this is not about me trying to knock our youths, but if they need to be knocked, they need to be knocked. I've never seen a rich man or any of these politicians go on the street and snatch ballots. I've never seen them actually go there and change ballots themselves. It's always the youths. It's always the poor. Why is that? I'm going to give it to Sega first, then we hear from Ayo, because these are themes that are raised by this, my book, okay? And I want to encourage you to get it, to see how it really developed, even beyond your experience in real life, because this is a work of fiction. So I took a lot of dramatic liberties. I exaggerated some parts. I added some parts in there to bring a colorful picture of this discussion. So, Mr. Sega, you got a minute? Tell me, why is this such a problem, and what is the solution, and who is responsible? Go. Anyhow. Go ahead.
Thank you very much, sir. As elders say, they say you do not call a dog with a whip in hand. When you do that, the dog knows what's going to happen. So he knows that you're not calling him to come and eat. You're calling him to come and receive punishment based on certain judgments that you have had in your heart. So most of the time, our approach to issues are usually in forms of judgment based on prejudices. We assume that the only solution to our problem, I've heard somebody say, a very loud critic, say that, how come that in Nigeria today, we cannot stay in our house and vote on our phones like BB Niger? And I reminded them that United Kingdom, United States of America, Canada don't vote on their phones, despite their technological advancement, because they know better that every single thing has a vulnerability. It is not much about the technology itself, but about the mind behind the implementation of that technology. If you don't fix the individual in society, nothing, no innovation will work for what it was meant to do. Somebody created God. We're using it to murder ourselves till today. And that man died in regrets, trying as much as possible to walk back his innovator's dilemma that he was not unable to overcome before releasing his innovation into the country. There's nothing you create today that will not be perverted. Remember, the ordinary little Jerusalem church during Jesus' period, after Jesus' period, during Jesus' period, became split into the Western and the Eastern church. From the Western church, we have the Roman Catholicism, we have the Protestant from there, we have the Pentecostal movements, which were led by illiterates, people who didn't go to school to read theology at all. And then today we're in the charismatic, where anybody can tell you to go and marry somebody else's wife if they're not taking care of it on TikTok. And it becomes a real pastor who people give lots of donations to, can sell you different variants of water, and he will tell you what he's going to cure. The same thing is true for politics. When you look at politics today, our society has reached an interesting stage where people are made to believe that there's no crime in shooting the black stripes on the zebra, forgetting that the white stripes die too when you shoot at that zebra. So our actions and inactions, whether you're doing voter apathy and telling yourself, oh, whatever they do, there's their business, is always going to be rigged, I'm not going to be involved, you are helping them. And whether you're going to participate and become not a victim this time, a willful collaborator in their exploit, either by slashing ballots, by helping them to distribute bribes, But today, even if you notice, most of the elections in the past few months have been free and fair. They're just perfect markets where willing buyers will come with willing sellers who are politicians who will come and negotiate your vote and you pay. We've seen Ekiti, one of the brightest states that have been producing professors for God knows how many years now, where you have a lot of high percentage of educated people selling their vote willfully. If you have 5 children, you are already a millionaire. All you have to do is, if they are voting age, match them to the polling unit, negotiate your ways and cash out straight. Whatever it is they ask you to do, you do, and you come back with money. You tell yourself, that's the dividend of my own democracy. You've gotten something out of it. This is the mindset of an average individual. They see voting as a reality TV show without real life consequences, forgetting that Big Brother Nigeria will not change the price of whatever it is that you're buying in the market. But this is the order of the day. How do you litigate an injustice or a crime that does not have a victim? You can't. How can you go and say, yes, this election is fraught with irregularities, and then they're asking you, who are the complainants? People who willfully collected money in exchange for their votes? How do you do that? Who do you blame for that? INEC?
You just raised a very, very good point. Sorry to interrupt you. A very, very good point. I think we should dwell on a little bit, because this theme was actually explored in this first book, and also in the second book, and even the third one, at the issue of, you just mentioned it, vote buying in election politics, in African politics. Because before, we talk a lot about people rigging election. But I think what we're having mostly in Nigeria is vote buying. Because if they buy your vote, is it really election? That's where is it really rigging? I think we need to talk about that a little bit. If a man comes to the polling booth and negotiates for your vote for 5,000 naira, and you collect 5,000, and then you go and vote for him, is that election rigging? So because I saw this, thank you, Sega, for actually raising it, because we don't discuss it long enough. We are happy to talk about the ballot snatching. Even my video that I'm going to show is about ballot snatching. But we keep forgetting one very important part. In 2011, when I started this organization called National Election Vigilantes Organization, NEVO. Again, myself, I've tried for this Nigeria. God will help me. And I'm not a politician. I went to United Nations, went to get certified to monitor elections in Nigeria, because we believe that rigging was going to prevent them from allowing Jonathan to win. Then I was supporting Jonathan for 2011 politics. So I was certified. So I had all these offices all over Nigeria. We had 32 directors for 32 states who are very active in 32 states. So I decided on election day that I will visit 3 states myself with my team. I don't know if I know you wasn't with us, but I have about 5 or 6 of my people that went with me. We went to Rivers, Imo State, and I think Abia. But Imo is where we spent. You are there. Okay, yeah, exactly. So you don't tell yourself where you said, don't they follow me for this wahala. After Sega escaped. So I grabbed people like, so we got to Imo State, and I was stunned. We had our cameras, we had our United Nations certification, and we're going all over the place. And we got to this place called Ohaji Egbema. I can never forget that name. It's the name of that city or village, whatever it's called, Ohaji Egbema. And I saw people come as vote started. They came in with brand new 500 naira notes. 500 naira notes. This was 2011. And they started distributing. So people then, I think to vote, you have to line up on one side. If those who are supporting one person, they line up. And people started changing their votes. They will take the 500. When they vote, then they will come and tell them, show them proof. I think they were taking picture, whatever. I was so disgusted that here am I spending millions of my money. I'm not even a politician. I don't even live in Nigeria. I just came for this. Here am I spending all these millions of naira funding all my people all over the states to make sure people's election were not rigged. And here are the same poor people who are selling their vote to these guys. I came back to Lagos that time and I disbanded NEVO. I said, I'm not doing it again. But guess what? Like the song said, I was back like Muguland forever. I was back again after a few years. But you just said it. Ayo, I wanted to weigh in a little bit about this phenomenon that Sega just pointed out, and I'll pass it back to Sega to finish up on that thought. The phenomenon of people narrowing it down now to vote buying and vote selling. Is that election rigging? Is that good or bad development? How do you see the old saga?
So So Doctor, and what Sega said. So you guys are taking me into the field of political philosophy. So let me say this first of all. Election rigging, ballot snatching, vote rigging, and the issue of selling your votes. I want to cap it in three ways. First of all, are you a legal person, Banwo? So this will be directly to you and to the audience. My rights for sale, my stolen rights, and my forced rights. So what's voting? So voting is an exchange of your values and your rights for somebody else in expectation that the person will take those rights you've given him to give you good governance. So when you decide to put up that right for sale as a commodity, you disenfranchise yourself from whatever expectation and demand you might have from such level of governance if it comes to play. Otherwise, if the right is stolen, which is vote rigging, then you have the right to complain that this your rights, which you are given, which you didn't give free willingly, that was snatched from you, you understand, does not represent your interests or your values. Now, if your rights are forced, maybe as a party member, as a loyalty to vote for somebody else, then in that sense, we might say that was bias. But it's very difficult to say that if you sell your vote, that is rigging. Because it's your right in the first place to give. So if you offer your rights for a value of money, from the issue of legality, you cannot call it rigging. From the issue of ethics and morality, you can say this is not supposed to be the due process. Because at the end of the day, you can give your rights to the highest bidder. And legally, there's no law that says you cannot sell your rights for something you want. It's your fundamental human rights. You can give it to whoever it is for a value. At the end of the day, it boils down to the poverty in the system. When a person decides to sell his birthright, yes, and it's either because he's suffering or he's forced to do so, or compelled. But logically, the scenario in African politics today is a scenario whereby they've caged us to a wall. They've boxed you into a corner that you don't even have the ambience of choice to say, I'm not selling, I will sell. Because hungry men don't really have a choice. So you want to feed your family, you want to eat. So as I said before, election time is Christmas for a lot of people. And they just take what they can take and grab and move away without, as Sega said, consequences or the future implications.
So essentially what you are saying is that we are getting the results of what we have been paid for. If politicians have paid you, then you have no right to complain. Sega, I'd like to finish your thought on that because you raised that issue and I thought it was such a brilliant issue that we don't talk about well enough in our politics. Go for it.
Thank you very much, sir. So, Mr. I have actually buttressed most of the points that I was going to say. We just must conclude on that issue by saying that a single bracelet doesn't jingle. Without a willing buyer, there will not be a willing seller. The politicians are providing what has been demanded. So and so if governments want to do something to the people, they will not come and force it down the people's throat. What they will do, as strong men do, strong men don't send strong messages themselves. They send it through weak men that we are familiar with so that it can be swallowable and easily consumed by all of us. So in the issue of election rigging, our politicians, they have perfected the art such that they allow us to use our own hand to do ourselves, by coming to see what is required, what is needed. Before, it used to be tomatoes and 2 Maggies and a bulb of onions. But right now, we have raised the bar on our demands by asking for 10,000, 20,000, or 15,000, depending on how critical the elections are. And you see, it will be so peaceful that you can actually, nobody will steal, nobody will fight, nobody will quarrel with anybody. By the end of the day, transactions will be done, and the transactional will of the electorate will be passed. In other words, the leader that they have procured will emerge at the end of the election. And so this is what we have been saying in the statewide elections that we've been having in the past few months, where people willingly collaborate. They are not victims, they are willful collaborators with politicians, collect whatever they want to collect. And that's why you don't see people protest or fight. It's about you being outbidded in the market. You didn't pay and also you got what you paid for. And that's what it is. So when the result comes out, it's always going to be very fluid because it's a heavily monetize election. And at the end of the day, who suffers? The same people suffers. Because most of the money that will have gone into amenities, fixing of infrastructure, or what have you, will not go there. Will go into the recuperation of those who have, spent the money for the election. And you cannot protest because you just gotten what you ordered in the market. You've gotten paid. You've gotten your dividend of democracy ahead of time. And then whatever it is that it's going to do for you, it's your own headache. And that's where we are today. So it's very difficult for you to come out and say, I'm an advocate or I'm an activist, I'm fighting for the people, and the people who were rigged out of the election. No, they rigged themselves out willfully and they will not complain. So that's where we are now. So it's a victimless crime and nobody can prosecute such. Thank you, sir.
Wow. Interesting. I thought, I don't know, and I stand corrected. I know I'm the lawyer here, but I really have not researched it, and I try not to say what I don't know for a fact. Isn't there a law in Nigeria that actually bans vote selling? I will imagine there will be something like that. Sega, you probably have researched this. You are more lawyer than me. That's why they keep accusing you that you say you're a lawyer. You are not a lawyer, but you have never claimed it. But you know more law than some of us. So tell me, what's going on? Yes.
That's what I research on, and the issue is there are laws, just like we have anti-torture laws in Nigeria that have not caught a single police officer, and they still tortured somebody this morning. We have not been able to prosecute anybody coming out to say, yes, I was tortured. This is the evidence. This is the guy who did it. This is the person who ordered it. The same way, how do you begin to criminalize a situation where there is no complainants, there are no victims? Where do you go from there? How would you say, which political party will come out and say, it's like impari delicto. The maxim impari delicto, partners in illegality. Two people went to the bank to go and steal. At the end of the day, when they are sharing the booty, one guy got more than the other, and the other got disgruntled that how come we steal so much and I get so little? He went to the police station and my rights have been infringed upon. You know, can you imagine that bank they said they robbed yesterday? We were the one that did it. This is how much we got from it. And at the end of the day, when you hear from the report, even the bank manager, the amount you will claim that was lost, that was stolen, will be far more than what they stole. So before you know it, everything is jaga jaga.
So essentially, no, this is a very important point to raise about politics. And I'm surprised I missed that because I explored more the issue of ballot snatching and ballot stealing in the book. I actually have a song that we're going to play about that. That is real. We see that in our election. But right now, it looks also, over the years, we are seeing more people actually selling their vote than the vote actually being snatched from them. And we are not talking about that enough. And we seem to be thinking it's the same thing. Stealing somebody's votes is different from selling your vote. I saw it with Professor Kingsley Moghalu.
So technically, doctor, it's not the votes that they are selling, it's the right. The vote
exactly. They are selling their right, which is their right, right? They can sell it or they can do it any way they want. We need to talk more about this. Because I remember now I probably was wrong to be very angry with the party that Professor Moghalu was.
They're selling their right, their fundamental human rights as eligible voters. Yes. Fundamental human rights, that's what they're selling. The vote is a right for you to append your signature for somebody you feel you're aspiring your hope and believing that they can provide for you security, better governance. That is what
I don't think that's what is happening. Hold on. Whoa, Ayo. I don't think we don't want to take that kind of simplistic level. I don't think the person who sold his vote for 500 naira really believes that the person he's selling it to can make his life better. I don't think so.
It's evaluation. The vote is supposed to be normally to make your life better, but you sell it without thinking about that because you care less. Poverty does not make you think. They're on survival mode.
Wait, now let me finish.
I think what the doctor is saying is okay.
Yes. Okay, go ahead, Sega.
What you're saying, in essence, is you're correct, and what
I've not even said what I want to say. Let me say what I want to say.
What you are saying, you are saying that
can you tell me what I'm saying?
The person who is
yes,
you are saying the person who is selling the votes may not know the implication of his actions. Ayo is saying, going deeper to say,
Saga,
yes. Ayo is saying
what I'm saying. I'm right here. Let me repeat myself so that you can hear me. You can't be telling me what I am saying when I'm here. What I am saying for real is that from my experience with the party that Professor Moghalu was before he went to before he lost out, That was my principal candidate even before Peter Obi. But we brought a lot of people through doing this Fish for Life thing, training people. We brought all these youths to the party. I forgot the name of that party now. So at that time, thinking that all of them came in, the event was organized in the name of Professor Kingsley Moghalu for them. So they came in. Then on the day of the primary, because that's why I said I probably was wrong, because at the end of the day, he lost the primary because a lot of those youths that we brought to the party on the day of the primary, the other candidate was just giving out $100, not even 100 naira, $100 to these youths, and they started rushing, literally beating themselves to collect $100 to vote for this other guy. And my guy lost, Kingsley Moghalu. And I got very angry about it. But now I'm realizing that what is my anger about? These youths, they have a right, like Ayo is saying, and they have sold it for $100. Who am I to then go out there and be castigating them? That's a simplistic look at it. But then a deeper look from where I disagree with Ayo, which you can then weigh in when I'm done, Sega, is that I don't think that transaction was arm's length. I don't think the person selling his vote for 100 naira or $100 or $500 necessarily think that other gentleman is better than or was better than Professor Kingsley Moghalu. But the average Nigerian feels that they have no dividend in our democracy, is the way I'm seeing it now. That whether they vote or they don't vote, these MFs, these politicians are not going to care about them when they get there. And they're going to go out there, they're going to buy themselves $200,000 cars, they're going to buy new private jets, they're going to buy all this stuff. They're not going to be thinking about them. That this time during the election is the only time they can get a dividend of democracy. And then they sell it to the highest bidder. That same person, if your theory were to be correct, Ayo, that he sold his vote for $100 to that guy because he thinks that guy will better his life. If another guy comes in and offers him $200, he's going to go to that guy. So it's not about the person they're selling it to, but their own valuation of the worth of their vote during election. And that's why they cry later, because they know the good guys will not necessarily give you money. Professor Kingsley Moghalu was not giving anybody money. Just like Peter Obi was refusing to share money. We were quarreling with Prof. That Prof, we have to spend this money, but the man is not a money bag. Yeah, he has all these ideas. He's a deputy governor of Central Bank, but he's comfortable, but he was not a rich man. So he was telling us, what are you guys talking about? We're not giving money out to these guys. So at the end of the day, youths that believed in him, who felt he could do better for them, they sold their vote for $100 to somebody that they obviously know was a nobody who's not going to do nothing for them. So don't tell me that sale is to somebody that can better their life.
Okay, you're very correct, Doctor. You're very correct, but I think I misconstrued my points. What I said was, and I'll make it very simple for you, yeah? What I'm saying is that what is being bought is a vote. What is being sold is a fundamental human right. That's the difference. They are buying your vote. You have sold your fundamental human right in exchange for what? In exchange for something. Either whether it's correct or wrong, you've exchanged your rights for something, for governance. Whether the governance is good or bad, you don't care, but you've exchanged it at the value. So the valuation of what you've exchanged your right for, whatever you see, you take like that. Because they bought your vote.
So you are saying they don't have the right to complain later, is what your point.
Of course, you just accept what it is because you've gotten your value for your money for what you sold.
I'll give a second last word on this. Now that you've heard me well, now you can interpret. Go ahead.
Yeah, what I was trying to say is he is digging deeper into the concept of the transaction itself, that they are selling their rights, which is, if you look at it from the scientific point of view, as far as they are concerned, is their votes that they sold. Just like somebody who is selling land, is saying, I sold my land. The land has 3 blocks on it, or he has uncompleted building, I sold land. Meanwhile, you are selling the rights that subsist in that property, in the actual sense. But again, we're not going to go deep into the science of the whole thing. And in the concept of transactions, when people look at voting is an emotional thing. The valuation itself is not an exact valuation of this is who will make my life better and this is who will not. Once you have attributed the money in exchange to it, it could be sweet, it could be anything. It's all about the sufficiency, not the adequacy. So if I decide to say I'm taking 3 wraps of tomatoes or 3 cans of tomato in exchange for votes, that is the value to me. I don't care what happens afterwards. I have taken my dividend of democracy. There are people who didn't collect anything. There are people who didn't come out. That's what they tell themselves. I still got something. I am better than my neighbor. So some of these destructive concepts that have wired our citizens for many years, for ages, we don't know how ruinous it is until we begin to look at the critical, the security impact assessment of those decisions that we take for granted. And those who also will not come because they believe people are just buying and selling vote. I don't want to be a part of that. And they don't come out. And because the more you don't come out, the more they replace you with ghost voters. That's why you see number of accredited voters being higher than number of people votes that are actually counted. They are counted. And because they know we don't, if you want to hide anything from Nigerians or Africans, you put it in a book. How many people are so curious about forensic evidence to be able to dig deep to see where numbers 1 + 1 has been equal to 55 in that equation? So it's all about our, number one, the understanding of the voting process itself. What exactly does it mean? It is not a factional go lawyer, go for me, or wait here, let's all kill ourselves, or if my guy did not enter, no, nothing should be well, it should not be well with Nigeria. That is not, that's still emotional. That still doesn't make you probe the person that you're trying to bring into the system. It becomes a religion, it becomes a cult. And that's still not democracy. That's still rigging, whether you like it or not. When you make it about religion, when you make it about tribe, when you make it about, it's still rigging because you are playing with the emotions of people who don't know the implications of their actions. So when you look at rigging as a dynamic, whether it's ballot snatching, vote selling, or what have you, they are all crimes. But when it comes to willful seller and willful buyer, willing seller and willing buyer, your hands are tied. You can't fight that because the people cannot claim to have been coerced. They cannot claim to have been railroaded. They cannot claim to have been brainwashed. They came out themselves, negotiated, got paid, and were happy with what they bought. Thank you.
Jesus Christi. Okay, that is a whole different mindset to think, but you're right. I've never really thought about it much in that perspective until right now. Okay, I'd focused more, and more of the team was about the election rigging, and of course, we saw the bullion van flying at night, even the helicopter bullion distributing money to the people, and people collecting money to go vote for the other side, even in the book. So what we are saying now, and somebody said on the among those who are watching. Let me pull that up. I think it was Yetunde. I saw it. One of our viewers right now, Madam Yetunde or Debbie, saying massive re-education on that mindset is the cocoa that the Nigerian, the Ghanaian, the Kenyan. Of course, we talk more about Nigeria because that's where we are from. But Muguland is a representative of the whole African continent. I want to keep reinforcing that so that people can understand that we are talking on a larger scale, even when we mention within the Nigerian context, okay, that the more the phenomenon of educating them so that people understand that, yes, you get a temporary advantage from selling your vote for 500 naira, but you're going to have 4 years to eat that 500. I think that is not stressed enough. And I thank you, Sega, for raising that issue. But in the Kingmaker of Muguland, we had that team extensively discussed, or rather as part of the storyline, especially during election period. But we focused a lot more on the snatching of ballots. And as a matter of fact, because that part was so heavy in terms of our experience, we actually created a video for that. I want to look for that video. We called that song. I also wrote a song to express, because all the songs in the series, again, you are laughing at me that you don't see me as a songwriter. Now I got tools. I'm a badass. Now me and Don Jazzy, we don't enter this one, okay? Because now I can put what is in my head out. Before it was a challenge.
This is Stingomena Rebirth. It's Stingomena Rebirth.
No, yes, so this is going to be Muguland Entertainment. I think I'm going to go drag Sega to come and be my creative director at YouTube. All right, let's listen to the song. I think it speaks more to about rigging in our electoral process in Africa. Very prevalent, especially in a place like Nigeria, and it's something for us to watch. And a theme that we explore massively in the book, The Kingmaker of Muguland. If you are just joining us, what we are doing tonight is we are officially releasing the book, The Kingmaker of Muguland, into the global marketplace. It's live right now as we speak on Amazon.com. It is live on Barnes & Noble. And of course, we're also going to give you a special deal. I'm coming up with a 50% discount for everybody on this show tonight, plus a special combo that will actually give you access to the whole Chronicle series. I'm going to be making, talking about that maybe in another 30, 45 minutes after as we start coming to the end of the show. So please stay with me. And so by the way, every copy of the book you buy today, okay, 100% of it is going to be donated to the Fish for Life Foundation, which is my heart right now. We train, equip Nigerians to become digitally self-employed through digital entrepreneurship. It's been what I've been doing for a few years now, and we are going hard at it. We just finished a second cohort where we train over 100 people about how to become self-employed online with an 8-week program. Before then, we trained over 300 for a 12-week program, all of it 100% free. That's where I donate a lot of my money now. And 100% of the return on this book, if you are going to buy a copy or 10 copies or 20 copies for us tonight, I will encourage you. We are not doing a formal launch, but this is a book introduction to the public. I really appreciate it. Just know that 100% of all sales, not 70, not 80, 100% will be donated to the Fish for Life Foundation for them to use in their continuous education of Nigerians as part of my own contribution to Muguland, since I cannot carry my heart away, me and all of us from Africa. Here is the song, Snatch, Grab, and Run, that symbolizes the way we run elections in Africa. Enjoy, and that's my rap debut, Mr. Ayo.
Snatch it, grab it and run. Violence on the streets, yeah, we having fun. Snatch it, grab it and run. Power in Muguland, that's how it's done. Snatch it, grab it and run. Votes in the shadows, the game's begun. Snatch it, grab it and run. The people's choice, man, that's over and done. Election day, but the streets look wild. Thugs in the booth and they're running wild. Paul Eway's crew, they ain't got no chance. Disenfranchised while the goons advance. Balance in their pockets, stolen in the night. Supporters silent, beaten on sight. Votes disappear like a magic trick. Lawyers on standby playing politics. KG lawyers twisting every law, turning technicality into wins in law. Electoral commission can't do a thing. Incompetent, they lost their swing. The courts they nod, shake hands and smile while Muguland bleeds from miles and miles. Snatch it, grab it and run. Balance on the streets, yeah, we having fun. Snatch it, grab it and run. Power in Muguland, that's how it's done. Snatch it, grab it and run. Votes in the shadows, the game's begun. Snatch it, grab it and run. The people's choice, man, that's over and done. They came with muscle, forcing the game. Paul Equay's name, erased in shame. Disenfranchised, they can't speak up. Thugs with weapons tell them to hush up. The mandate stolen, but they still cheer. Fake leaders rise while the truth's unclear. KG lawyers smile in the courts. Power bought with lies of all sorts. The system's broken, justice a ghost. Power-hungry leaders do the most. Grabbing ballots, they call it war. Democracy's lost, no open door. Votes rigged with every dirty hand. Welcome to Muguland's promised land. Snatch it, grab it and run. Balance on the streets, yeah, we having fun. Snatch it, grab it and run. Power in Muguland, that's how it's done. Snatch it, grab it and run. Votes in the shadows, the game's begun. Snatch it, grab it and run. The people's choice, man, that's over and done. We hustle, we fight, but the game is cold. Ballots missing while the truth's untold. Snatch it, grab it, they steal with ease. Muguland's future brought to its knees. They grab it, snatch it, and laugh away. Another stolen tomorrow, another stolen day. Snatch it, grab it and run. Balance on the streets, yeah, we having fun. Snatch it, grab it and run. Power in Muguland, that's how it's done. Snatch it, grab it and run. Votes in the shadows, the game's begun. Snatch it, grab it and run. The people's choice, man, that's over and done. Song hits at the heart of electoral corruption in Muguland, capturing the frustration and the chaotic tactics used to grab power. Perfect for an Afrobeat rhythm that combines hard-hitting lyrics with a driving beat. Pulling out the rate system while still staying catchy enough to get people moving and thinking.
All right. Well, snatch it, grab it, and run. That's my rap debut. What do you think, Sega Segaga, of the song, the lyrics, and the video itself, done by Video 360 Collective, a group of young people? I'm sure I'm giving you a deja vu back to 2005, 2006, when I used to harass you guys to do great things. These boys have never done videos before, and they've been making me proud in the last 2 months. But what's your take on the song in the context of what we are discussing? Go for it.
Yeah, I think it's nice. It's very good. It's going to connect with the audience, especially with the youthful audience. Anytime you make anything about music, anything about animation, visuals, the way our brain is designed, both the logic and our emotions is being connected when we watch a video and a song in a theme that we love, African songs, the way it came out, and the lyrics itself speaks to issues that we find as reoccurring decimals in our political space, where you find people, use thugs, use handedness to force their will upon the people and rob them of their future. I think it speaks also to all the things that have been, mentioned in the book, and it tends to tie everything up together and give someone, people who are reading and people who are looking at it or listening to the music or watching the video, a sense of belonging in that story, so that it can guide them as a rhythm for their dance through the conundrums of all the issues that have been elicited in the book. I like it, and I know that a lot of people are going to listen to it more and then begin to make it a challenge or a song that they sing and they use themselves when they're doing their own thing on social media. So it's a good work. I was hoping to hear from Mr. Steven himself, who was
Yes.
the director of the video, since he's with us.
Okay, Professor Stephen, what do you have to say for yourself? Your video, I love it. You know that it's on my phone now. Every time I'm going to work, I play this particular song. I really, really like it because my daughter, she's 16, she loves it to pieces. So, great work, great work. So, Stephen, you want to mute? I will mute when you are talking because our phones clash. Go ahead. Let me unmute you. Can you unmute yourself now? Yes, I will mute.
All right, it has been said earlier on, the song is a very powerful song because it really reflects the political reality, the electoral malpractice that go on in many major African countries. So that song really it's at the core. And thank you so much for tuning our attention to producing something like that. But one thing I want to say is that in the last election, especially in Nigeria, I don't think there's that much rampancy of snatching, grabbing, and running away with ballot boxes. I think there are other complex issues around why we keep having crop of bad leaders who come on board, who come on the political power, are beginning to continue to rule us. I wouldn't want to blame the masses that much. I wouldn't want to blame them that much. Be it those who collected money to vote and those who don't collect money to vote. I will still put the blame largely on the leadership of the country. They are the cause of all this. If the head is okay, the body definitely will be okay. So, Mr. Sega, thank you so much for that wonderful comment about the video. We are really doing great, and that's even the chip. It's a tip of the iceberg of what we can ever do. And I really want to appreciate Dr. Ope for giving us the opportunity
Unfortunately, your voice is seasoned, but we got your point. Thank you so much. You are muted, actually. You need to unmute. But, oops, so you can't. You muted yourself, just in case you don't know. You are talking, you need to unmute. Come on, man. All right, I think you didn't hear me. But I think we got the gist of what he's saying. Again, I want to give a quick shout out as we go, because as you all know, and Seka will just be smiling. I'm doing an immersive experience here, marketing everything together from book to song to video. Carry anyone you want. I just want to celebrate.
I was muted. I've just been talking. I've talked my mind out.
It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. All right. So what? I lost my train of thought for a second there. Yes, I was going to give a quick shout out to the Video 360 collective team. It's a team effort. There's actually about 12 of you who are still standing. We started with over 20. Then I started dismissing if you are not catching up my style. If you are not working well, you cannot hang with us. So I want to celebrate Gold. Gold Tamuno is actually our project manager. She's the one that is coordinating all of this along with Steven as a co-manager. We have Ayo Tomiwa, who is one of our badass video creators now. We have Daniel Omotara, Rosali Tuwe. Again, if I miss your name, don't be upset sometimes because there are so many. Oyin Konsola Oshinowo, another young 20-something-year-old boy who's doing crazy stuff in the group with us. Stephen Oyeleye, of course, is right here. Lord Samuel is a gospel singer who's also now getting into the video creation. And I told them there's a big feature in this game. There's Muiwa Aluko. I almost forgot. Muiwa Aluko is also doing some amazing stuff. There's Nike Ashobon, who 2 months ago, if you say video, you say, what are you talking about? But she's one of those creating amazing videos now. It doesn't take long to turn people into superstars, is what I say. We just need to show them. Nigerians are great, and that's why it breaks my heart that our government is not committing to mass digital empowerment for our youths, because just spending a little time with them, you can unleash them into the world where they start making money for themselves. These videos now, if you go to a place like Fiverr, the minimum you are going to get is $150, $200 for a 3-minute video. And these people landed in another 2 weeks. They made all the videos of 53 episodes. They made all the music videos. And yet, the first time they ever thought about doing video was like 3 months ago when I introduced them to some AI tools. And they had to take a week or two to learn it. And now they're doing great things. Imagine how many of our people can be liberated, not just doing videos. I'm talking about providing digital-based services to a global world, earning dollars. But we don't have the jobs in Nigeria. Sorry, I've entered my fish for life mode now. And I'm using this opportunity to speak to the Nigerian government, to NGOs, to state governments, that I understand every other thing still has to be done. And everybody will not be a digital person. But for those youths who are wasting their time fighting about Peter Obi or Emilio Kon on Twitter, if we can redirect many of them to go and learn how they can become self-employed with learning basic things that they can turn around and sell. A promotional video on YouTube right now, on Fiverr right now, 1 minute promotional video, $60, $120. In Nigeria, that is $100 is more than $350,000. And you can get those videos done in literally 10 minutes. If you use a tool called in video AI, most of the videos you are watching here, they were done with a small tool called in video AI. In literally minutes, once you master it, and then people pay you amazing money for this. And yet, a lot of our youths are just wasting their data. Dragging, you don't have a job, but your job is to go drag Emilio Kon. Your job is to go drag Peter Obi when you could be learning. And I put all of that on our leaders. But I'm doing my part. That's why everything here, I'm committed to the Fish for Life program. I've set up the foundation. It's registered officially in Nigeria and the US. We have a director general now. Her name is Olufunke Ado, who is running the foundation. It's no longer dependent on me. And my job is to raise as much money as I can for them to run as many of these free programs as possible. That is why 100% of the sales of the books tonight and over the next 1 week is going there, and the donations is going straight to them. So support the project. I'm going to play just in case you are joining us and you really don't understand what the book is about. We have a 1 minute promo, again, done by members of this Video 360 collective. They are going crazy. These are young people. I'm always proud when I'm able to make young people, help young people to rediscover themselves and do great things within a short time. It's an intro to the book itself. When we come back, we take up other issues as raised in my upcoming book, The Kingmaker of Muguland.
This is the riveting story of a mysterious child in Muguland with a mysterious past and no known playmates who rose from obscurity.
Oops, sorry.
This is the riveting story of a mysterious child in Muguland with a mysterious past and no known playmates who rose from obscurity to mysterious wealth. He first seized local power with the backing of one of the most powerful families in the LA city of Muguland. Throughout his remarkable career, he shaped the destinies of both great and not so great political leaders, pulling the strings of Muguland's politics from the shadows. Known as the Kingmaker, he eventually ascended to become the apex predator in the treacherous landscape of Muguland's political jungle. Now, after a lifetime of deciding who would be king, he has chosen to step out of the shadows into the glamorous office of the presidency of Muguland. The Kingmaker is ready to snatch and run away with the political throne of Muguland for himself by boldly staking his claim to the #1 seat power in broad daylight. Will he succeed? Will his vaulting ambition lead to his downfall? Can he overcome the overwhelming opposition arranged against him? Can he survive the treacherous betrayals within his own inner circle? Or will he outlast them all and emerge as the last man standing? Get a copy of this riveting debut political novel from Dr. Ope Banwo and immerse yourself in the explosive saga of an ambitious kingmaker's quest to rule Muguland. This novel of political intrigue is not based on a true story. Therefore, any semblance to any country, events, or persons, living or dead, is purely the product of your hyperactive imagination. This novel drops globally on October 1st, 2024. Sign up today for updates and a chance to win one of the 100 free giveaway copies and other giveaway prizes on launch day at kingmakerofmuguland.com.
All right. Sorry, it didn't drop on October 1st, but it's dropping today. All right. And I had said earlier, for the first 50 people to actually subscribe to the channel, the Kingmaker of Muguland channel on YouTube, because that is where we are going to be dropping the video version of this. It's an immersive experience. There's a whole series of the book. Every chapter of this book has been translated into a book video. We call it a book video, where you can watch the book in living colors. So please go and subscribe to the book right now, to the YouTube channel, and we will give you a free printed copy of this. Each print copy of this is actually selling for 25,000 naira for the print, if I'm going to sell it. But I'm going to give out 100 copies of this today, as I promised. To the first 50 is going to those who subscribe to the channel today. And I have staff there who are actually writing down the names of those who subscribe. As you subscribe, you get a notification. And the first 50, we're going to contact you, and we're going to give you information about how to pick up a copy of this. If you are abroad, I will work out how to mail it to you. If you are within the US, I will mail it to you with my own cost. I won't even charge you mailing fee. It's like $9. I'll send to you. And if you're outside US, you make arrangement about how to get it to you, or you go to 2 of our collection points. Right now, we have one on the island, and we have one in the Ikeja area. You can go in there, pick it up once you have been selected, or call the number to actually pick up your copy. I think this might be a good point for me to introduce how you get this book. First, we have a website for you to pay for it. Mr. Stephen, you want to meet Mr. Ayo? Okay, let me just meet you. All right, sorry about that. So you want to get a discounted copy of the book at kingmakerofmuguland.com, and you can use a code, this code, Muguland Deal, to get 50% off. You can buy as many copies as you want. That's the digital copy we're selling on that site, because it doesn't include shipping costs and all that. So if you want the print copy, then you're going to have to send the money to this account. Is 10,000 naira. Okay, for those of you in Nigeria, if you're outside the country, for today is $7.99 only. The book is $19.99 on Amazon and Barnes & Noble, but the launch day price is only $7.99. And for that, we are taking 10,000 naira. I know the exchange is not exact. We want to be partial to those who are living in Nigeria. Things are not easy. So it's 10,000 naira. Transfer it to that account and then send us a message. Send me let me put the number. Once you have done your transfer to GT Bank, okay, it's Afrinet Business Solutions, 0138239434. Once you have done the wire transfer of 10,000 naira, if that is the version you want, in other words, is the digital version, is 10,000 naira. If you want the print version, then you will pay for the print copy. I'm not going to charge you for print. I will actually give you one for free. If you have bought, again, I did 1,000 copies I was going to give out for free anyway, because the monetization of the book is not even in the print. Every dime we make here, I'm going to give it to the Fish for Life Foundation. When you have, after you have sent your money, I wanted to get you a WhatsApp number so that you can reach my staff, not me directly. And if it's also me you want to contact, I don't care. It's my book. I'd be more than happy to direct you to the right place. But you send a message with a screenshot of your payment to Mr. Bayo at 234-806-814-833-00. But hold on a second before you conclude that. Let me say something else before. That might not be what you want to buy. Again, if you want to buy the digital copy, it's 10,000 naira for today. We sell it at $19.99 on Amazon. You can go there and go check it yourself. You can see that it's live there. And then after you use this code to even get 50%, I forgot, you get 50% off the price on that page, which is even 10. So you get 50% off with Muguland deal. Okay, but I want to introduce you to a special package. I call that the combo package. Now, this is what I expect my friends to buy. This is why I expect the Segas of this world. Sega is not going to buy my book for 10,000 naira. I will not collect it from him. Even though he has a free copy, he's still going to buy by force in multiples. So we have what we call the inner circle bundle. This package is for my friends out there who really want to support this work. It's 100,000 naira. I'm going to tell you what to get with it today. I'm not doing a book launch. At least you guys had me cancel that. You know, if I were to catch you in my book launch, you are going to drop $1 million before I let you go. But this is a book launch straight out to the world. It's not friends and family. And here is what you get. You get a digital copy of the book. You are going to get the complete audio series. Every chapter has been translated into audio. You are going to get the audio package. Apart from the audio package, you are going to get the complete book video series. Okay, I know that it's still going to go live on YouTube, but that's going to take 45 days for all of them to be live out there. You are going to get the access to all of it in the next couple of days. We already have it. We have a membership area where you can then get access if you don't want to wait for the daily broadcast and you just want to watch the whole thing as one. We have all the 53 episodes in your membership area. You get that as part of your combo package. And then here is the kicker. You're going to get free copies of the rest of the Chronicle series when we drop them. Right now, 4 are ready, and they're going to be dropped every month over the next 4 months. The Kingmaker is dropping today. Children of Anger, which centers more on youth activism and how they reflect in a beautiful book. Amazing, even much more fun than the Kingmaker. Then we have Shattered Hopes, which centers around an African country who got independence, and now all the hopes of the independence was shattered, the drama between their leaders and all of that leading ultimately to a civil war. And then Brothers at War covered the 3 years of the civil war. I've got some amazing videos on that book. You watch it, you're going to cry. There is a character in the Brothers at War called Mama Ngozi. Mama Ngozi had 8 children before the war. She's from the Okorobia tribe. There's a tribe in that book called the Okorobians who actually decided we're going to go to war with the main country, and the rest of the tribes gathered against them. and it was brutal. It was a 3-year war, civil war called the Brothers at War. There was Mama Ngozi there to symbolize the loss of the Yorubians during the war. And that woman had 8 children at the end of the war. She ended up with only 1 child. She lost 7 children to the Brothers at War. It was a heart-wrenching, and like I said, this is not a true story, but inspired by true life event. There's some stories I had about Nigeria's Biafran war, about specifically about a woman who lost, I think, 6 children in the war, but I exaggerated a bit. And like I said, this is a work of fiction just to bring it, and I wrote a song. I cry when I'm listening to the song because it was just the way I felt about the whole experience. So you're going to get access to all of that. The Kingmaker, Children of Anger, Shattered Hopes, Brothers at War. For those who get this today, not tomorrow, not next tomorrow, because I can't mortgage the future of my series for too many people. But if you buy the combo today, you get access to that. When we bring them out, you're not going to get it immediately. Children of Anger is coming out in December. Shattered Hopes is coming out in January. Brothers at War is coming out in February. And they all come out complete with the book, the songs, the video series, as well as a music video series, as well as the YouTube book to video series. You get all of that. Number 5, you get access to all the musical videos, of course. They're going to be available online, but you're going to have it in your members area. Right now, we have done, I think, about 12 or 14 of those musical videos. You can enjoy them, download them on your whatever, do whatever you want with it. Then, of course, we have a membership area. I call it the Muguland Nation. I'm actually using it to also create a community where those of us who are active politically or want to talk politics, you can interact, you can network, do business together. It's an expansive thing I'm putting together here. Yes, it's just starting, but it's going to be growing. I'm not going to tell you there is any Muguland Nation right now. I'm launching it all today. So when you start, there might be 1 or 2, 3 people, but we are planning to get to the millions over the next few months. And of course, we have the Muguland Nation membership on WhatsApp also, where you can join and you can network and we can enjoy ourselves. So that is the combo version of this. It's 100,000 naira for those of you who want to support the project today, or $59.99 for those of you who are outside the country who want to pay in dollars. So how will I call it? The account to transfer the $100. Actually, the $59.99 is the 50% that it comes down to. It's actually $99.99 to $100. So I try to do it at 100 to 1 kind of thing. So don't look at that $59 and think that is more expensive than the 100 or cheaper than the 100. No, the 100 is much cheaper because it was $19.99 for the comprehensive package. So you can transfer the 100,000 naira to this account, 0138 239 434. That is the GT Bank account, and that is where I expect my friends to drop it. 100,000 for this project, I think, is small money. You are supporting the Muguland project, which is funding the Fish for Life project. We don't have any sponsors for the Fish for Life, but it's something I'm committed to. We just finished a 2nd cohort. A 3rd cohort is going to be starting early in the new year, and we take, apart from 1 week of boot camp, we then take another 8 weeks to train people to become masters of digital skills that they can sell online. That's what you see. Some results from that is what you see from my students who created all these videos that you are watching. You can see how amazing they got from 0 to this point in under 3 months. Many of them now are selling their skills online and becoming self-employed. So by buying this combo package for 100,000 naira today, you are supporting my project. It's 0138 239 434. It's just 100,000 transfer. Let me see you transfer it now. The first, I think we are making this available just for today. I'm not going to say the first 10. When this broadcast is over, that price is going to be changing to 250,000 for the combo version. Mr. Bayo, please note, once I close this, please help me increase that price to 250,000 naira, and that's what we're going to take from you if you are doing this. All right, guys, that's it. For those of you, of course, if you don't want to do the 100,000 naira version, which is this, you can always do as many as you want with for only 10,000 naira. Transfer that and then send us message here. I hope I'm clear enough. I'm still going to revisit all of this. This is the phone number to send me a text on. Send to bio 0806 814 8300 for those of you in Nigeria. If you're abroad, it's plus 234 806 814 8300. Please send a message to buyer with a screenshot of your payment. If you're paying for only one version, it's only one book, it's only 10,000 naira. If you're paying for more than one, do it in multiples and then let us know. We appreciate your support. 100% of the package is going to the Fish for Life Foundation. All right, enough Ikpolo Waja. Let's go back to business. All right, I'm going to put it there. Hold on a second for transfer for purchase copies book. If you buy only one copy of the book, 10,000 naira, and then you send it to GT Bank 0138 239 434. And I expect you to buy multiples of one, right? And if you need the print version, if you buy the digital version today, you also get a print version as a bonus. I know me, I'm crazy, I'm reversing it, right? I'm giving the print version for free for buying the digital, not the other way around. So, and for those of you buying multiple copies, just let me know how many copies of the book you want for your donations. We will let you know. So you can also donate, like I said, as much as you want to the project by sending money. Let me put this in there so that it's easy for me. Donate and contribute. Donate to the book launch. Okay. This is the one to donate to the book launch. Whatever amount you send, we will appreciate. 0138239434. Afrinet Business Solutions. The bank is GT Bank. You can see that I'm not calling anybody to come and donate. You know, you guys know if I want my money, I'll collect my money. But I'm being nice today. Otherwise, I will have caused Sega to drop $1 million. But that will not be fair. He will run tomorrow when I call him and say, "Oga, you want to come and trap me?" So I'm not putting anybody under pressure. I want you guys to support this project. It will gladden my heart. None of the money is coming to me. It's going to my foundation to support the training of Nigerians to become more digitally self-employed. So the account number again is 0138-239-434. Account Afrinet Business Solutions, and the bank is GT Bank. Every one of you joining me from home, go drop now. Fumbi Lupeju, I'm calling one by one. Yeah, I need to be seeing those alerts. Bam. Yetunde Odebi, where is my money? Divine. Oh yeah, go and drop. God bless you guys. All right, Sega, let's continue here. I'm not going to tell you about the launch. I don't want to put you under pressure. But if you drop, I will take. What are you dropping? See, let me use time to collect my money. God will forgive me. Yes, go ahead. Sega.
Thank you, sir. It's I've seen the different packages that you have, and I think it's something that is what a collector's item for our libraries, and also for those periods where those downtimes when we just want to get lost in the matrix, to study something, to follow through a story, and to be able to binge watch, what has been trapped in a book, and to also make notes and then inspire ourselves. Inspiration is not an inside job, it's an external one. The same thing with creativity. No creator or creative person will tell you, "I have everything in my head." No, it's when we go out, when we expose ourselves to things, so themes, that we get ideas, and then we use it to build onto something else. So this is a very good one. It's a good project, and I will keep in touch on it. You will hear from me. There are certain people that I also want to connect to this, to understand, the concept of, we need to begin to sell these things to younger generation. Everything is not about, it's not binary, it's more or less, a spectrum. We need to understand people from their point of view. We need to know history. That's why they say when an old man dies, a whole library gets burned down, because they don't have a place to pour themselves out. So So through this kind of stuff now, you're not indicting anybody, you're not fighting anybody, you're simply saying, let us put our imaginations in gear and then understand how things work in a society and know where to engage, how to engage, and how to make things better. So thank you very much for this. And I wish I could be able to stay longer, but I need to jump on a call in any minute from now. But
No,
thank
no,
you,
no
sir.
problem. You did tell me that it was 5 minutes you are going to spend, and you have spent more than an hour. So thank you so much. If you have to go, you have to go. I appreciate you. We're having fun tonight. Probably have another 30 minutes to go and we'll be done. But please feel free to leave when you need to. I don't want to be like you come to prison. You told me yourself you are not going to be able to stay more than 10 minutes and then you have spent more than an hour. I'm very, very grateful. Guys at home, I want to celebrate you. All of this is for you too. And as an inspiration, just like Sega just said, that expressing yourself will also be a way of also becoming self-sufficient financially. It's one of the things I teach people, that if you don't document your thought process, your system, whatever it is you're involved with, it's like you have just wasted what God has given you for the next generation. Yeah, you might get blessed on it now because you are doing the work and you're getting paid for it. But when you die, what legacy do you leave to people who are coming after you? It's something I believe in so strongly now, that if you're in any domain, you need to document your process. Not only we are talking about Plato today, we are talking about all these kinds of democracy stuff because some people wrote it down. You have a system, whatever niche you are in, it don't matter. Even if you're a political critique, put something down on paper for those who are coming after you. If people like Ganifawa and me didn't do anything well enough, is the fact that they did not document their struggle process into a step-by-step process that those coming after them can follow. So that every time in Nigeria, in every walk of life, politics or law or pastoring or whatever, somebody starts something great, then he dies or he leaves. The person coming in starts afresh because they have no reference. There is no manual. There is no memoir. There is no reference for those following them. And this is what I've been teaching, and I'm so excited to see that so many top leaders are buying into it. In this Fish for Life, by the way, Sega, you may know that one of the sessions we finished at the first cohort, we actually had several ambassadors there who then wrote their first book. Imagine somebody being an ambassador, 3-time ambassador, being commissioner, but no book. But this Fish for Life was able to help them put it together. We have the likes of people like Shola Salako, who has been sowing, who has been a doyen of consumer advocacy for so many years, over 30 years, but no book to leave behind to create others like her. Now she has published her first book as a student of the Fish for Life program, and we were at our book launch last week, and many like that. It's one of my most gratifying points of life right now, helping people like you. I'm even talking about guys who are masters of their domain, as well as young people. So it covers everybody who are looking for what to eat, for instance, the younger ones. Now, what you love to do, that you're dragging, for those of you who like to drag on social media, or that your phone video, you can begin to document them in a way that will benefit you. Now I'm doing activism, and I'm happy. By the way, that one of the songs, Mama Ngozi's Tears, that I told you guys about, already had 15,000 downloads on SoundCloud, I think. Okay, and I've not even released the song. The song, I just put it up there when it was created. I'm planning to release it when the Brothers at Work come out, which is February. But I just loaded the book there, and people are already going there to download. And I get paid for every download. You have to understand that. This Muguland the Beautiful already crossed 17,000. The one I just played now. And we have not even done any promotion. So I'm having fun. I'm writing lyrics about how I feel about politics in Africa. I'm writing book about how I feel. I'm turning it to a YouTube video. When you go to that YouTube channel I gave you now, you see that it's monetized. They are putting adverts in it, Google and all those places. You are going to be watching the video. Then it will stop for 5 minutes, 2 minutes. They'll show up. They pay me for that. 10 cents, 20 cents, 30 cents. That's how this money accumulates. And every one of you out there, you can do the same. You know why? Because now you have tools. Even if it's a struggle before, where to write a book, we have to go to, all of us cannot be Wole Soyinka, but I can compete with Wole Soyinka today if it's poetry I want to do. You have seen me write articles. Why? Not because I'm that smart, but because now there are tools that can help you to bring out what is in your head. tools like Gemini, tools like ChatGPT, tools like in fact, those two are more than enough. I use ChatGPT mostly. I sit down with it, then I put my thoughts. I want to do this. I need you to help me research this. I want to, and it gives me everything I want. So within a couple of days, that book in your head that you are thinking will take you 3 months to write, you write it in a couple of days, in a few weeks, and then you put it out there. The Kingmaker of Muguland is a partnership between me and AI. Things that I've not been able to research by myself. The brothers, the Shattered Hopes, I'd wanted to write that book for like maybe 15 years. But researching what happened in terms of Akitola, what happened in terms of Kwame Nkrumah was a lot of work. But now with AI, I can tell it, I want to know what happened. Go and research for me what happened between now and this time. It gives it to me, then I use it to write my fiction. You see how beautiful that is? So you see my books are well researched, but the research is not done by me. It's done by AI. So all the work is reduced. So I want to invite every one of you to begin to think about this. Of course, I plan now again to do an isolated workshop. I call it the book writing boot camp, writing your legacy book. I'm actually going to make it very accessible, even not free, for everybody. Where if you are a thought leader, you are a manager, or you have some ideas in certain areas, I want to use that boot camp to help you design your book, write your book, publish your book, launch your book, all of it in under 10 days. It sounds impossible. I have dozens, hundreds this year alone. So when it comes out, please sign up. Even if there's payment, I've not made up my mind whether it's going to be free or whether I probably will do it free, because for me, it's never about the money at this point of my life. I want to see, of course, Sega has written several books, so this doesn't apply to Sega. But there are many like him who have domain expertise, domain authority, but they keep saying, I'm going to write my book tomorrow. I'm going to write my book tomorrow. The next thing you know, you die, or you are too old to do it. So this book is also an inspiration to every one of you out there. It's not just for me. Now my vision, my dream, being a novelist. It will surprise you guys, by the way, that when I was about to enter university, okay, and there was people are talking about what they want to be, I wanted to be a novelist, not a lawyer. I wanted to be a novelist. I wanted to be like James Hadley Chase. I swear to God, that was my idol. I had just been tasted James Hadley Chase. I was in love with all those thriller things. Then my dad just took one look at me, Ofe Shekini, and that dream died right there. When I took one look at me, you want to become what? I couldn't even repeat it because it's a slap that would have met me. So you're going to be a lawyer. You're always coming first in your class. There's nothing like novel. We stupid novelist. Even me, I could not repeat it when he says, you want to do what? I said, but now, at my age 60, now I can be a novelist all I want. And I am. I just published one. You don't have to like it, but it's out there. And I'm going to keep writing about the area I believe, which is politics. Maybe eventually I'm going to go back to thriller, to James Hadley Chase that I wanted to be. But now I'm enjoying political thriller. So this is for everybody out there. Like I said, today is total immersion. We are selling everything from career to book to the whole thing. All right, guys, let's go back to the book. I want to play a song. You're going to tell me, Sega, if you are still here, if you've gone, that's okay. What is the one sentence that came to your mind watching this song? And then we have the discussion. And if you have to go, you have to go. For those of you back home, my prizes are coming up in a minute. I'm going to start giving out the T-shirts. Do not go away. Here is I can't find it now. I thought I uploaded it. Oh, please. No, I'm not going to debut Last Man Standing today. That is the climax here. Okay, I'm going to play this. Not Tears in Muguland. Come on, no. Don't have the video that I want to play here. Shoot. Okay, let me play this one.
I'm leaving on a dusty road, don't know when I'll be back again. The land I love can't hold me close no more. My dreams are heavy, like stones in the sand. I face the desert, hoping for distant shores. Oh, Muguland, you worn me thin. Promises broken, hopes wearing thin. Across the waters, I hope I'll find the life you promised, but never delivered. In the city streets, where nobody knows my name, I'm just a shadow, playing a second-class game. With degrees in dreams that gather dust on the shelf, I'm a stranger here and a stranger to myself. Oh, Muguland, you worn me thin. Promises broken, hopes wearing thin. Across the waters, I hope I'll find the life you promised, but never delivered. In the desert's heat, I lost a friend. The dreams died in the bitter end. Still I carry on with weary feet for a life worth living in a land unknown and sweet. So I'm leaving on the dusty road to find a place where I might belong. But Muguland, you'll always be a part of the man that's left of me. Oh, Muguland, you wore me thin. Promises broken, hopes wearing thin. Across the waters, I hope I'll find the life you promised, but never delivered. The desert's heat, I lost a friend. The dreams died in the bitter end. Still I carry on with weary feet for a life worth living in a land unknown and sweet. So I'm leaving on a dusty road to find a place where I might belong. But Muguland, you'll always be a part of the man that's left of me.
Okay, Sega, that was a bit of a downer of a song. I was feeling down when I wrote that. What is your comment on the song? Then I'm going to let you go if you have to go. Go.
Thank you very much. I think it speaks to a lot of things that we all feel and we probably don't have words for. And it speaks to broken dreams. It speaks to broken promises. It speaks to failed systems. It speaks to the our assembly line literacy program, which promises that our shoes will sound a certain way when we read our books, when we go to school and they get educated. And today,
Yes.
our shoes may be sounding cocoa car, but our accounts are not getting the torrential alerts that it ought to get for us to be able to manage our bills. But unfortunately, also, we must understand from the part of the nation, if you look at it as a father who hardly know the number of children that he has to feed, who doesn't have, we're the only country in the world who uses estimates as the number of people that we have. So we don't have exact figures. Lagos State can't tell how many people are in Lagos, how many people come to Lagos, how many people are indigenous citizens of inhabitants of Lagos. So infrastructure, no matter what they create, amenities will be overpowered and overwhelmed. For so taxation is not so there's so many things that are not really happening. So the promises that have been inherited by our young people, that all they have to do is to go to school, follow the program, come out of school, graduate, go to NYC, and land a job where they can be able to buy houses and buy cars and be better than their neighbors is no longer coming true. So what we have now is professionals who have done well in school, read their books, who are willing to leave the country for a worse life somewhere else. You see Nigerians on the street of the United Kingdom, in the street of Canada, in the street of the US, hiding after their visas have expired, seeking to claim asylum, looking for life to craft just to be able to remain a fourth-class citizen in another country where they cannot even protest, where they cannot even challenge their police officers, where they cannot even demand anything of governance. So this is the situation with our young people, and their reaction will never be like our reaction. We may be mature, we may have seen different wars and struggles, but they were born into an era where they are digital nomads, where they believe in expressing what they feel. And if you look at the history of laws do not punish people. There's no law in the world that has ever punished anybody for how they feel or how angry they get. They are punished for what they did with the anger, with that emotion. And so we don't also have an education system that tends to teach people what they will use, tools that will direct them in reality, other than things that will make them pass exam and collect a cardboard, that make them entitled to be able to get a job that will not feed their families, that will not pay their bills, that will not make their aspirations to be fulfilled. You mentioned something earlier on when we were talking about election malpractices, if there are laws and all. I remember some few years ago, maybe like 2 years, 3 years, 2022, I was called upon that the National Assembly has shut down all the processes for the for the reform of the Electoral Act, and that they are not listening to them again. They want to go and protest. And I said, listen, from experience, from the laws that I have participated in creating, even the difficult ones with the police, I did not use a whip in hand. I didn't use disagreement. You have to find a way of cajoling these people to do the will of the people. So they invited me to guide them through how they are going to get success from it. And I did, and we worked on it together, and we got the Electoral Act of 2022 passed. Now, pertaining to what you just mentioned about electoral malpractice, what are the provisions of the Electoral Act 2022? They were, number one, dereliction of duty when it comes to rules governing malpractices as it were. Dereliction of duty was number one that was mentioned there. Bribery and conspiracy was number two. In the direction of duty, it simply says in section 120 that any polling officer who fails to report promptly at their polling unit on election day without lawful excuse commits an offense and is liable to a maximum fine of 500,000, imprisonment, or term of 12 months in jail, or both. Bribery and conspiracy, section 21, false statement 123. In case you publish something about a candidate that is not true, that makes them lose election, you will be, sentenced to jail or have to pay a fine of 100,000. Voting by unregistered person. If you, just like I mentioned about the Anti-Torture Act, we have seen traces of all these things in every election cycle. But we have not been able to, because of the process of prosecuting things in Nigeria and evidence, it's always very difficult. Undue influence is also there. False election result is also there. So all these things that we have there are provisions for them. But out of all these things, there's nothing like a willful or willing citizens who went out to seek a supplier to come and buy his vote so that he can willfully pick a candidate. Because those transactions don't happen on the election grounds or at polling units. It happens at the back door somewhere where they come and fulfill their righteousness and go and get their balance somewhere else. So it is totally out of the security officers' control and totally out of the INEC officers' control. So why am I jumping into that? When I listen to that sorrowful or that self-reflective song, it begins to remind me of how much of the provision of law have failed in reality because of the human conditions of our people and because of the overaching wiring of our youth. Our youth they believe in instant gratification. They don't want a case where they vote for somebody, they're waiting for 4 years for the person to make their dreams come true. They want something now. And that thing can be anything. Some people can be boiling, some people can be sweet, some people can be beer, some people can be prostitutes, some people can be whatever it is. So when you have dealing with this kind of situation, you are not looking at the system for now, even if we can pass laws and put it there. We're looking at how to re-engineer the thinking of our society. And that is up to you and I, and you're doing it already with this product. So thank you very much for the opportunity to speak on this. and to witness this day and to witness most of these wonderful things that I'm seeing that I love so much. And I believe there is more to come. And I will implore more people to subscribe to this and to engage with you. Thank you.
All right, thank you guys. Before we come back to wrap up this, and maybe also we'll give Sega an opportunity to escape my studio. Let us watch the first episode of this amazing book together. We've been talking about it. We spent almost 2 hours talking and just going around in circles about it. We've announced how you can donate to the book. All donations go to the Fish for Life Foundation to train more Nigerians on this free training I do. His bank account is 0138-239-434, and the account number is Afrinet Business Solutions, and then the bank is GT Bank. But now we are going to watch the first episode together. It's actually already live on YouTube. The premiere of it, I think it went live about 15 minutes ago. I had forgotten. I said the time. But every day from tomorrow is 7 p.m. We are not going to go live. You are just going to receive an alert that the premiere is going live at 7 p.m. Nigerian time. It's already been scheduled, so make sure you follow the channel so that you can receive an alert when the next episode is about to go live. But right now, we're going to watch the first episode of the Kingmaker of Muguland together. Let me see if I can share my screen here. If not, let me see, present this share screen. Okay, let me see here if that's can we see that? Okay, great. Let me see. Let's start it going. Go.
The line of riches, gold, oil, diamond bright. But our streets are stained with blood, but the youth fight for their rights. Protesting for a future, yet they're slaughtered in the night. While the leaders sit in silence, flying private jets in flight. They drive their bulletproof cars while we walk these streets. Say there's no money, but their jets fly with ease. Our children starve, but they're too blind to see. Muguland, why can't we be free? Muguland, Muguland. We're crying out for change, but they shoot us on the streets. Muguland, Muguland. We have all it takes to be great, but only corruption is great in the land. They say no money's left, but the rich keep getting fat. Their rich shine with diamonds, private jets. Imagine
that. The sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows over the bustling streets of Alaye City. As darkness crept across the metropolis, the familiar symphony of honking horns and street vendors' calls was shattered by the sharp, menacing sound of gunfire. The echoes reverberated through the narrow alleys and wide boulevards, a chilling sign that something terrible had happened. Meanwhile, in the affluent neighborhood of Koki, far from the chaos of the streets, a group of powerful men gathered around a massive mahogany table in a luxurious mansion. These were the Kingmakers of Muguland, the shadowy figures who pulled the strings of the nation's political machinery. Tonight, they had convened to decide the fate of one of their own. At the head of the table sat Chief Bisola Elenian, a man whose ascent to power had been as swift as it was mysterious. His thick-framed glasses perched on the bridge of his nose, obscuring eyes that many believed could see straight into a man's soul. The tension in the room was palpable, each man's face a mask of steely resolve, but their eyes betrayed the fear that lurked just beneath the surface. The only sound was the occasional click of a lighter as someone lit a cigarette, adding to the haze of smoke that hung in the air. Suddenly, the double doors at the far end of the room burst open, and a man staggered in, clutching his side. Blood seeped through his fingers, staining the rumpled white of his shirt. The men at the table leapt to their feet, their chairs scraping loudly against the polished marble floor.
Bogunlo is dead, the man gasped before collapsing to the ground.
A collective gasp filled the room as people absorbed the shocking news that Williams Bogunlo, the charismatic politician who had once posed a serious threat to Chief Bisola Elenian's carefully constructed empire, was dead. The implications were as clear as the blood now pooling around the fallen man. Chief Bisola Elenian remained seated, his expression unreadable. Slowly, he rose to his feet, his gaze sweeping across the shocked faces of the men who had, until moments ago, considered themselves untouchable. It begins, the price of power. As the men exchanged glances, one of the bolder members of the group finally spoke up.
Chief, did you order this?
Elenian's eyes narrowed. You think I would do something so reckless? This wasn't my doing. I need to know who did this. Find out now. Chief Elenian's expression turned somber as he sat back down, contemplating the implications. He knew people would blame him. They always did. After all, Muguland was his biggest rival. But Elenian genuinely had nothing to do with this. Yet he also knew that bearing the weight of such accusations was part of the price of power, and he was prepared to pay it. Elenian's expression remained inscrutable, but a flicker of something, sadness perhaps, passed through his eyes. He knew that no matter what he said, no matter how he protested his innocence, the blame would fall on him. Muguland was his biggest rival, and in the eyes of the people, that made him the prime suspect. As his people kept looking at each other in shock and confusion at the unexpected development, Chief Elenian sighed, his shoulders slumping slightly. He knew that in the world of Mugulandian politics, truth was often irrelevant. Perception was everything. And the perception now was that he was a killer. It was an accusation he would have to weather, a storm he would have to endure. He had chosen this path, and he was prepared to face its consequences. Outside, Alais City roared in response to the news. Protests erupted spontaneously as rumors of Muguland's assassination spread like wildfire. The streets were flooded with people demanding justice, their cries echoing off the walls of the city that had given birth to so many broken dreams.
Justice for Muguland. We demand justice.
But above the chaos, like a shadow looming over the land, was the figure of Chief Bisola Elenian, a man who had mastered the art of political survival and who knew that tonight was just the opening move in a much larger, bloodier game. As night fell, Chief Bisola Elenian returned to his seat, his fingers tapping a steady rhythm on the table. He had climbed too high, seen too much, to be afraid now. My enemies will come for me, as they always have, but this time, I am ready. I will not just survive, I will dominate. Outside, the gunfire continued, a stark reminder that in the world of Mugulandian politics, power was not simply earned, it was seized, manipulated, and often paid for in blood. And tonight, Chief Bisola Elenian was prepared to pay that price.
The rain pounded relentlessly against the tin roof of the small room in Mushin, a rhythmic drumming that seemed to mirror the chaotic thoughts racing through Dr Ope mind. He sat hunched over a weathered wooden table, staring intently at the worn passport in front of him. The photograph inside belonged to a young woman, her face framed by tight curls and her eyes wide with the innocence of youth. The name beside the picture read Bisola Elenian. Dowda's heart pounded in his chest, each beat echoing in his ears like a war drum. This was it, the moment that would change everything. The room felt smaller than usual, the walls closing in as the weight of his decision pressed down on him. The air was thick with the smell of damp earth and desperation, mingling with the sharp tang of sweat that clung to his skin. He picked up the passport, his fingers trembling slightly. It was not fear that made him shake, but the gravity of what he was about to do. The path he was about to take was one from which there would be no return. But Dowda had long since resigned himself to the fact that the life he was born into could not be the life he lived. Not if he wanted to survive.
So you're already using ChatGPT, and while that's awesome, there is one little problem. You're not making any money with it. And I'll tell you right now what you don't need. You don't need a better prompt. In fact, you can be the best prompt engineer.
Not if he wanted to thrive. His gaze drifted to the corner of the room, where a small shrine had been hastily erected. At its center was a photograph of the real Bisola Elenian, the daughter of his political mentor, Chief Musibao Elenian. She had been the apple of her father's eye, a bright and promising student with a future as luminous as the morning sun. But fate had other plans. A sudden and mysterious illness had struck her down in the prime of her life, leaving Chief Elenian devastated. It was in the aftermath of her death that Dowda had first conceived his audacious plan. He had been close to the chief, who had seen potential in the young man and taken him under his wing, but with Bisola gone, Dauda knew that his position was precarious. He needed a way out, a way to ensure his survival and to seize the opportunities that Alaye City could no longer offer him. She was too good for this world, Chief Elenian had once said, his voice thick with grief as he stared into the distance. She was going to change the world, Dauda. But now the world is a little darker without her. Dauda had nodded silently, offering what little comfort he could. But even as he did, his mind was working furiously, plotting a way to use the situation to his advantage. He saw an opportunity where others saw only tragedy. One night, as the chief lay drunk and weeping over the loss of his daughter, Dauda had quietly slipped into Bisola's room. There, among the remnants of her life, he found her passport. The resemblance was faint but unmistakable, enough to pass for siblings, perhaps even close family. With the right story, Dauda could make it work. And in that moment, Dauda Omolomo, an unremarkable man born in Yamoja City in faraway Nuso State to unremarkable parents, died. And the legend of the man, later to be known globally as Chief Bisola Elenian, was born. He was no longer the son of a struggling market woman, doomed to a life of mediocrity. He was now the child of a respected political figure, a man with connections and influence, a man who could open doors that had always been slammed shut in Dauda's face. His decision made, Dauda Omolomo, now determined to legitimize himself as the reincarnated Bisola Elenian, had approached the chief with a plan. "Chief, I need your help," Dauda said, his voice steady despite the storm raging in his mind. "I want to honor Bisola's memory by continuing her education in the United States. I have been accepted into a program there, but I need your support to make it happen." Chief Elenian had looked at him with bleary eyes, clouded by both alcohol and grief. "You want to go in her place?" he had asked, his voice tinged with confusion. "Yes, Chief," Dauda had replied. "I want to carry on her legacy, to fulfill the dreams she could not. I want to make you proud, just as she would have." The chief had stared at him for a long moment, and for a terrifying second, Bisola thought his plan had failed. But then the old man had nodded, a sad smile tugging at the corners of his mouth. "She would have wanted that," Chief Elenian had whispered. "She would have wanted you to succeed where she could not." And with that, Dauda had secured his passage out of Alaya City and into a new life as a man reborn, or more appropriately as a woman reborn, with the Bisola Elenian identity and the full permission of the man who had given his now deceased daughter that name. The documents were prepared, the funds transferred, and before long the new Bisola Elenian was boarding a plane bound for the United States. The city that had given him life had now given him a new identity, a new purpose, and a new path to power. As the plane took off, leaving Alaye City behind, Bisola leaned back in his seat, a small smile playing on his lips. The game had begun, and he was more than ready to play. "I will surely come back someday," he whispered to himself, the roar of the engines drowning out his words, "but not until I have everything to be somebody in this land." The clouds parted below, revealing the vast expanse of the Atlantic Ocean. Beyond it lay the future he had stolen, the future he would make his own. In that moment, Bisola Elenian was no longer just a man. He was an idea, a force that would stop at nothing to claim what he believed was rightfully his. And nothing, not even the memory of the real Bisola Elenian, would stand in his way.
The wind whipped through the streets, biting and cold, as Bisola Elenian, formerly known as Dauda Omolomo, navigated the vast, unfamiliar cityscape. The towering buildings, bustling crowds, and electric energy of the city both thrilled and overwhelmed him. He had left Alaya City with a singular mission: to succeed at all costs. But the path he found himself on in America was far different, and far more dangerous than anything he had ever imagined. In the early days of his life in the United States, Bisola struggled to find his footing. The money that Chief Musibao Elenian had provided only went so far, and soon the harsh realities of immigrant life set in. He juggled odd jobs, barely managing to cover his tuition and living expenses. The American dream, it seemed, was more elusive than he had anticipated. But then, Bisola met Ada Oloja, a smooth-talking Mugulandian who seemed to embody everything Bisola had dreamed of. Ade was polished, wealthy, and well-connected. He exuded an air of danger and unpredictability that both intrigued and unsettled Bisola. You want to make it here, my friend? Aid had asked one night as they sat in a dimly lit bar, the sound of jazz music filling the air. You need more than just hard work. You need connections. You need to understand how this city operates. Bisola listened intently, his eyes narrowing as Aid spoke. There was something captivating about the man, something that made him feel as though the impossible was within reach. What kind of connections? Bisola asked cautiously, sensing that this conversation was leading him down a path he hadn't intended to take. Aid leaned in closer, his voice dropping to a conspiratorial whisper. The kind that can make you rich beyond your wildest dreams, my friend. The kind that can take you from struggling student to someone who commands respect. The allure of quick wealth and power was impossible to resist, and Bisola soon found himself drawn into a world of drug trafficking and money laundering. Aid introduced him to a network of Mugulandians who had established themselves as key players in the heroin trade that stretched from West Africa to the streets of Alaye City. It was a dangerous game, but one that promised rewards beyond Bisola's wildest dreams. At first, Bisola was hesitant. He had come to America to study, to build a future through legitimate means. But as the pressures mounted, the bills piling up, the constant threat of deportation looming over him, he found himself increasingly tempted by the allure of easy money. "I don't know, Aid," Bisola had said one night as they sat in Aid's luxurious penthouse overlooking the city. "This isn't what I came here for." Aid had laughed, a deep, rumbling sound that echoed off the walls. "You think the men at the top care how they got there? You think that they're all saints doing everything by the book? No, my friend, the world is built by those who take risks. You want to be a king, don't you? Then you have to be willing to play the game, and play the game Bisola did. He started small, running errands for Aid and his associates, handling money transfers and acting as a middleman in transactions. But as he proved himself reliable and discreet, his role within the network grew. He began to oversee larger operations, managing the flow of money through accounts he had set up under various aliases. It was during this time that Bisola decided to fully embrace his new identity. One evening, after a particularly lucrative transaction, Bisola found himself alone with Aid in the penthouse, the city lights twinkling below like a sea of stars. Bisola took a deep breath, steeling himself for the conversation he'd been rehearsing in his mind for days. "Aid, there's something I need to tell you," Bisola began, his voice steady but laced with tension. "I'm not Dr Ope anymore. That name is dead to me." Aid raised an eyebrow, intrigued. "Oh? And who are you now?" Bisola met his gaze, his eyes cold and resolute. "I'm Bisola Elenian. That's the name I want to be known by. It's the name I'm going to build my empire under." Aid studied him for a long moment, a slow smile spreading across his face. "Bisola Elenian, eh? Sounds powerful, but why the change?" "Dr Ope was the name of a nobody," Bisola replied, his voice growing stronger with each word. "A name tied to a past I'm leaving behind. Bisola Elenian is a name with a future, a name with connections. It's a name that commands respect." Aid nodded, understanding dawning in his eyes. "And what about your past, Bisola? You can't just erase it." "I can and I will," Bisola said, his jaw set with determination. "I've already started. I've destroyed every document that could link me to Dauda. I've contacted people back home, people who know how to make things disappear. Soon there won't be a single trace of Dr Ope left." Aid leaned back in his chair, a look of admiration on his face. "You've thought this through, haven't you? I have to say, Bisola Elenian has a nice ring to it. It suits you." Bisola allowed himself a small smile. "From now on, that's who I am, and I won't allow anything or anyone to get in the way of that." Aid raised his glass in a toast to Bisola Elenian. May he rise to the top and take everything he desires. They clinked glasses, the sound of the toast echoing through the penthouse. But even as they celebrated, Bisola's mind was already racing ahead, plotting his next move. The transformation from Dr Ope to Bisola Elenian was more than just a change of name. It was a rebirth, a shedding of an old identity that no longer served him. Bisola was determined to build a new life, one where he was not just a player in the game of power, but the one calling the shots. As he walked out of Aid's penthouse that night, the cold wind biting at his face, Bisola knew that he had crossed a line, one that he could never return from, but he didn't look back. The path ahead was clear, and it was one that only Bisola Elenian could walk.
Your movie is really funny. It's really funny. By myself, laughing out loud hysterically today.
The next day, Bisola made his final move to erase Dr Ope from existence. He visited the offices of a shady private investigator who specialized in cleaning up records. With a substantial payment, Bisola ensured that all traces of Dr Ope's existence, birth records, school transcripts, even immigration documents, were expunged, altered, or buried so deep that no one would ever find them. "Consider it done," the investigator had said, pocketing the envelope of cash Bisola had handed him. "From now on, you're Bisola Elenian. As far as anyone's concerned, Dr Ope never existed." As Bisola left the office, he felt a weight lift from his shoulders. He was no longer tied to the past, no longer burdened by the identity of a man who was destined for mediocrity. Bisola Elenian was a name that would be known, feared, and respected, and he would stop at nothing to ensure that it was. The city of Alaye City, with all its opportunities and dangers, had given Bisola the tools he needed to become who he was meant to be, but it was time to leave it behind. His true destiny awaited him in Alaye City. As the city faded into the distance, Bisola knew that the game was far from over. It was only just beginning, and this time he would play to win, no matter the cost.
Episode 3: The Drug Bust and the Narrow Escape. The clang of the cell door closing behind him echoed in Bisola Elenian's ears, reverberating through his bones. The sound was cold, final, and it sent a chill down his spine. He sat on the edge of the narrow cot, staring at the grey concrete walls that had become his world for the past few days. The sterile, suffocating air of the holding cell was a far cry from the luxurious penthouses and sleek offices where he had conducted his business. Bisola had always known the risks. In the back of his mind, he had been aware that the empire he was building was precariously perched on the edge of legality. But he had been careful, meticulous even, to stay just out of reach of the law, or so he thought. It had all unraveled so quickly. The early morning raid, the flash of badges, the harsh commands of the FBI agents as they stormed his apartment. Bisola had barely had time to register what was happening before he was cuffed and dragged into the back of a police car, his rights read to him in a cold monotone. The charges were severe: money laundering, conspiracy to distribute heroin, aiding and abetting a criminal enterprise. The words had fallen like a guillotine, cutting through any illusions Bisola might have harbored about his invincibility. He had been careful, but not careful enough. The authorities had been watching Akeem Oloja's network for months, building a case, waiting for the right moment to strike. And now they had their prize, a major player in the operation, someone who could give them the names and connections they needed to dismantle the entire organization. As Bisola sat in that cell, the weight of his predicament settled over him like a shroud. The prospect of spending the rest of his life in an American prison loomed large, suffocating him with its finality. The money, the power, the connections, they all meant nothing now. He was just another inmate, just another cog in the machine of the American justice system. The door to his cell creaked open, and a guard stepped in, nodding toward Bisola. "Your lawyer's here," he said, his tone devoid of any warmth or empathy. Bisola stood, his legs unsteady beneath him, and followed the guard down the narrow corridor to a small, windowless room. There, sitting at a metal table, was his lawyer, a man with a stern, weathered face, dressed in a crisp suit that seemed out of place in the drab surroundings. "Mr. Elenian," the lawyer greeted him, standing to shake his hand. "Please, have a seat." Bisola sat down, his hands trembling slightly as he clasped them together on the table. The lawyer wasted no time, pulling out a folder and laying it on the table in front of him. "We have a problem," the lawyer said, his voice low and serious. "The government has built a solid case against you. They have records of your financial transactions, witness statements, and surveillance footage. If this goes to trial, the chances of acquittal are slim." Bisola felt a knot tighten in his stomach. "What are my options?" he asked, his voice strained. The lawyer hesitated for a moment, then opened the folder, revealing a stack of papers. The US Attorney's Office is willing to offer you a deal. It's not ideal, but it's the best we're going to get. Bisola's eyes narrowed as he looked at the documents. A deal? A plea bargain? The lawyer explained. You plead guilty to a lesser charge of money laundering, and in exchange, the other charges are dropped. You forfeit the funds in your accounts, but you avoid a lengthy prison sentence. How long? Bisola asked, his heart pounding in his chest. Time served, the lawyer replied, plus probation, but you'll be free to go. The words hung in the air, almost surreal in their simplicity. Free to go. After everything, after all the risks he had taken, it seemed impossible that he could walk away from this with nothing more than a slap on the wrist. But the lawyer's expression was grave, his eyes sharp and calculating. This is your best option, Mr. Elenian, the lawyer continued. You take this deal, or you roll the dice in court. But I'm telling you now, if this goes to trial, the odds are not in your favor. Bisola's mind raced, the weight of the decision pressing down on him. He had always been a gambler, willing to take risks for the promise of greater rewards. But this was different. This was his life, his freedom hanging in the balance. He looked up at the lawyer, his expression hardening with resolve. I'll take the deal. The lawyer nodded, relief flickering in his eyes. Good, I'll make the arrangements. You'll be out of here by the end of the week. As the lawyer gathered the papers, Bisola sat back in his chair, his thoughts a whirlwind of conflicting emotions. He had narrowly escaped a fate that could have destroyed him, but the cost was steep. The money he had worked so hard to amass was gone, forfeited to the US government. And with it, the empire he had begun to build in America had crumbled before it could even take shape.
We went without a health plan for a long time. Having kids was definitely...
But as the initial shock faded, a new resolve began to take root in Bisola's mind. America had been a stepping stone, a place where he had learned the ropes, honed his skills, and made connections. But it was never meant to be the end game. No, the end game was back in Alaa City, back in Muguland, where he could leverage everything he had learned to build something far greater. The name Bisola Elenian would not end in a prison cell. It would rise to new heights, more powerful than ever before. The following week, as Bisola stepped out of the courthouse, a free man, the cold wind of Alaa City biting at his face, he knew that this was a turning point. He had played with fire and had almost been burned, but he had survived. And now, with the lessons learned and the scars to prove it, he was ready to return to Alaa City and claim what was rightfully his. As he made his way through the bustling streets, the towering buildings of Seattle fading into the background, Bisola's mind was already racing ahead. He would return to Muguland, but he would do so as a different man, a man who had seen the worst the world had to offer, and had come out the other side stronger, wiser, and more determined than ever. The game was far from over. In fact, it was only just beginning, and this time, Bisola Elenian would play to win, no matter the cost.
Born in the land of riches, gold, oil, diamond bright. But our streets are stained with blood, where the youth fight for their rights. Protesting for a future, yet they're slaughtered in the night. While the leaders sit in silence, flying private jets in flight. They drive their bulletproof cars while we walk these streets. Say there's no money, but their jets fly with ease. Our children starve, but they're too blind to see. Muguland, why can't we be free?
Okay. Awesome. Well, what do you think? That's the first full episode, 25 minutes. I had to cut out the adverts because, YouTube keeps inserting adverts in it. And I think that is part of the magic of what we're trying to accomplish with this. What do you guys think as we wrap up today? I think we've had a great time today introducing this. If you're back home, I want to hear your comments on that first episode of the Kingmaker of Muguland, the book video of this amazing book that I just released. And we continue to request you, if you will, to support the project. Right now, you can donate to the book itself. If you're a friend and you feel you want to donate something huge to this, 0138-239-434. The bank is Afrinet Business Solutions, and it is a GT Bank. 100,000 to get the combo version. As I explained, the combo version of this book. Let me quickly run you guys through it again as we close for tonight. For the combo version, not only do you get the digital copy of the book, of course, if you also want the print copy, when you purchase, we also give it to you. You get complete audio book version, the complete audio of the whole book, 53 episodes. You get that. You also get the book to video series. Now, that was the complete version of what you just watched. You just watched episode 1, which is 3 chapters in the book. So we have almost, I think, about 40 episodes in all to cover all the 53 chapters of the book. You get access to everything immediately. It's already done, but we're going to be rolling it out on YouTube. As you just saw, we watch on YouTube right now. And you can see YouTube puts adverts in there as a kind of commercial break. You're going to get everything without the commercial in your members area so that you can watch the whole series at your convenience if you have the combo version. Number 4 that you get as part of the combo version is you get the not only this book, but the next 9 in the Chronicles of Muguland series. We have 10 planned books. The 10 books are not ready. I agree. We have 4 of them ready now. The Children of Anger, the Shattered Hopes, that has to do with independence all the way to the first military coup. And then we have the Brothers at War to depict civil war in this Muguland fictional country. So again, they're going to be released every month over the next 4 months, these 4 volumes, and that's when you're going to get it. You're not going to get the books now, all 4 today. You're only going to get this one. And then when we launch the next one in December, the Children of Anger, you also get that for free. You get the one, Shattered Hopes, in January, and Brothers at War in February. All free if you get the combo version of this Muguland series. And of course, you get access to all our music videos. We've got 20 songs written, mastered, and produced. And we have musical videos for 12 of them. You're going to get access to all 20 songs, all 12 musical videos immediately, even before we release them over the next 3 to 4 months, so that you can have what they call a pre-listening. You also get access to our WhatsApp membership for networking. We have the Muguland Nation on WhatsApp, where we can network, talk politics, get to know each other better, and possibly do some business with ourselves. And that combo version is only 100,000 naira. The discounted price is actually 250, but for today it's 100,000 naira only that you have to pay for it. And then if you're abroad, it is $59.99 you pay today. It's $99 regular, but there's a 50% discount that you get to be able to pay $59 on it today if you're outside the country. Of course, you can always, once you pay your money, you also want to send us a text at +234 806 814 8300. My colleagues on the charts can help me post these things in there so that people can get the information. So you can send your money to 0138 239 434. That's GT Bank account, Afrinet Business Solutions. And of course, for those who want to donate more than just the 100,000 naira combo version, I certainly will welcome it. If you can give me 5 million, 10 million, I will take it. 100% of this money is being donated to the Fish for Life Foundation. That's my foundation that trains Nigerians on digital empowerment skills for self-employment. We run free programs. It's called cohorts. They're about 8 to 12 weeks at a time, where we actually train and equip Nigerians to become self-employed globally. And we look forward to you supporting this with a purchase of this. I'm not going to keep a dime of any of these book sales. All of it is going straight to Fish for Life Foundation. And we want to encourage you to follow our YouTube channel. The YouTube channel is actually where you're going to help us the most, because it's a monetized YouTube channel. For every time we drop our video and you watch, YouTube pays us for every minute that you watch. anywhere from 1 cent to 50 cents to 60 cents. That is how you continue to support this project without having to pay anything from your pocket, or you just go watch the video for free. So please go to youtube.com at Muguland Nation now and just go and subscribe, because the second episode will be delivered tomorrow 7 p.m. through what is called a premiere, a live premiere. We are not going to come live to talk about it, even though we have our live show that's going to be ongoing, but we are going to receive an alert that the next episode of the Kingmaker of Muguland is about to go live at Nigerian time, 7 p.m., so that I can click a link and join the world in watching that premiere. Right? That's it. So what do you think, guys? So about this amazing book, The Kingmaker of Muguland. Mr. Ayo, your closing comments before we close the show.
Yeah, well, 3 episodes in one is a lot, but I don't know. It's like a nostalgia. Just reminds you of the past. Just reminds you of where you are. It reminds you of Africa. If you're not in Africa, it will give you a nostalgia. If you're in Africa, it's just. I mean, there's a deep ironic thought of like, this is where we are. I think that's where it is. This is where we are, because this is really where we are, and that's where it is. This is where we are. Sadly enough.
Yes, actually, we think that the subsequent episode, because this is the debut, so it's like more or less showing like 3 chapters together. From tomorrow, the episodes will be shorter, just in case, because of people's attention mindset. Is going to be about 10 minutes, maybe maximum 2 chapters together. But the idea is for it to be like 10 minutes every day, instead of this one that is a full 26 minutes, because the ones from tomorrow, they are going to be interrupted with adverts from YouTube. So it's going to be, so we're going to give them 10 minutes of content, but it's going to end up being like 12 or 13 minutes, because there's going to be adverts inserted into it by YouTube. So it's going to be shorter, just in case you are thinking this one was a bit long. It's 26 minutes. A full episode on TV, for instance.
No, long but very interesting.
Right. So will you suggest we cut it to 2? Do you like this length? Or for going forward, do we make it a shorter episode?
I think people will be getting too much for too little. I think from a business perspective, I think it should be shorter. But from entertainment, I want to see everything today. The suspense is just killing. I want to see the next episode immediately.
Okay. Yeah. Yes, I want to appreciate those who are already supporting this. I am receiving lots of alerts. God bless you guys. Oh, wow. Okay, I see. Let me start to open them. Wow. Already good.
It depicts Africa in Jackman syndrome. I mean, it's just
amazing.
Lessons there, and really interesting.
Wow. Thank you, guys. I already see lots of alert going in. God bless you guys for supporting this project. For those of you yet to drop, please go drop it right now at GT Bank 0138239434. The number is on screen. It's Afrinet Business Solutions account. And once you have done your transfer, whether you just, the minimum is 10,000 for 1 copy. For those of you just want to get a copy, it's 10,000 naira, and then send your text to this place with a screenshot 234 plus 234-806-814-833-8300. That's for those in Nigeria. That's 0806. That's 0806-814-8300. I appreciate you guys so much. I just see the alerts flying in right now. 10,000, 100,000, 10,000, 10,000, 100,000. Well, thank you guys so much. As you are dropping this, definitely I'll be acknowledging everybody individually. Even if it's 1 copy you paid for 10K, I will still appreciate you. If it's 100,000 for the combo version, we also appreciate it. Whichever one you felt led to support us with. Okay, the combo version is 100,000 minimum to get the comprehensive package that I announced. But if you just want the book, it's 10,000 naira. And if you get the book today, the 10,000 is for the digital copy. We will also give you a print copy as a bonus. I know that's weird, but as I want to do this, I just want to give this away for those of you supporting this. So after you have done your 10,000 transfer, make sure you send us a text to this number so that my staff can make arrangement for you to pick it up. We have a pickup place on the island. We have a pickup place in Ikeja. If either is not convenient for you, then you're going to work out arrangement with them about how to get the book to you. You will pay the shipping to get the book to yourself. So the book is free, but the shipping you have to get to yourself after you pay for the digital version. And that's how I think we're going to market this. The book is probably going to be out there, and 10,000 naira for the digital copy. You want the print copy, you pay for the shipping, and then we send it to you. God bless you guys. Those of you, I see that everybody who's been on the call for the last 1 hour are still here. I was looking at the numbers on the different platforms we are in. On Facebook right now, we have 89 people still watching. We have 60-something people on LinkedIn. I don't know how many are on Instagram because I cannot see the Instagram count now. That one looks like it's getting frozen all the time. So I don't know what's going on there. But thank you for those of you still staying with us. We're about to wrap this up in the next few minutes. Mr. Stephen, what's your take on the first episode? If your mic will work, go for it.
Yes, sir. My take on the first episode, it has been mind-blowing. It is telling us of what other episodes are really promising of what they are to enjoy from their view, from reading the book in itself after watching the video. So the first episode is a very wonderful one. Everybody have been making comments here and there about the episode, and sincerely, it's still an understatement that it's a very good video. It's a very good book. Well done, sir. Well done, team. Thank you so much, sir.
All right. Yes, we have introduced Chibilenium to the audience, and the story only gets better as you go. As you can see, it's a blend of everything. It's a work of fiction, okay, inspired by true life events, but not about true life events. So events here, most of them are directly from my brain. So if you are seeing more than what is there, then you're on your own. You see what you want to see. Here again, as we begin to round down, there is a special song I did for the character, the lead character in that video. I call it Last Man Standing. He went through a lot of stuff for him to be able to come out at the top. But I'm not going to debut the song today. I'm going to bring it towards the end of the book because it's a celebratory song for him. But I appreciate you guys, everybody, for who joined today, and we are going to be calling it a day today. Actually, I've not given out the T-shirts. All right, let's pick out some people. It looks like we have to spend some time here. I did promise it. Let me look for those who have made commentary on the chat. I think I see Madam Yetunde Debbie there. Write it down for me. Gold, if you are there listening to me, our first winner today of the Muguland T-shirt. I ask you to show it today. Mr. Ayo, where's the T-shirt? Where's the cap? We're supposed to show it to them today. I think it's frozen. Madam Yetunde Debbie, yes, you have been following. You have been here since we started. You have been supporting this program from the beginning. So the very first T-shirt, unfortunately, my people back home are supposed to have it and show it on screen today. I don't know what happened, but we have it already. It's printed. It's going to be sent to you. I see, yes, Madam Yetunde Odebi, we see you and we see your chat. Thank you so much for being on the program today. Blessing Abba says, I believe Muguland will rank as a bestseller. We celebrate you also. A T-shirt for that, madam. Okay, contact. Again, once you win anything, you are going to contact my team through that, through our WhatsApp group, if you know where that is. If not, you contact us through this phone number. Okay, 8006-814-8300. I know I have several people on the thread who will be typing this for you there. So that's our second winner of the Muguland T-shirt right now. We also have, and I have the T-shirt somewhere. I think I have my copy upstairs. I should have brought it down too. But Blessing Abba is our second winner. Let me see. Fumbi Lukpeju, who has also been supporting us from the beginning. One T-shirt for you, madam. Let us know where to send it to you. You work out our arrangement with my team. They will ship it to you. You will be paying your shipping or you can go pick it up from our center in Ikeja or center in Lagos at no cost. Okay, who else we want to give? Audacious Tribe. I don't know who that is. Let me write it down. Audacious Tribe. The 5th t-shirt goes to you. Chris Oriesa. I think it's a cap I'm going to give you. You're going to be getting a Muguland cap. Muguland cap goes to Chris. Chris has been with us all day long during this broadcast. I hope somebody is writing this down for me. I'm not writing it down. Mr. Steven, I hope you're writing it. Okay, I don't know if Gold is still out there, but if she's out there, she's the primary recorder, but give me a backup just in case. All right, I'm scrolling through those I can see. I see Ruth Ijere. Ruth is part of the team. Do we give her a t-shirt? She's been commenting all day long. Yeah, we give Ruth a t-shirt because there are others out there who are part of the team. They've not made any comment, but Ruth has been very active in supporting the project. So Ruth, one t-shirt to you. Where else? I'm picking at random. There's so many of you here. I cannot possibly give to everybody, so I'm just picking at random. Mr. Frederick posted several times also. Okay, so let's give to Mr. Frederick John Oganerukewe. If I murdered your song, forgive me. John Osime. And that's a safe way. John Osime, a Muguland t-shirt to Mr. John Osime for supporting the project today and being here for the official launch of this. If you are back home, I need some comments from you. If you can text something so that we can give away this stuff. We promise to give away 20 t-shirts, 20 caps, 20 mugs. And I can only give it to those I can see. I know we have hundreds on the call, but I don't know you if you don't say something on the chat. Frederick, congratulations to you for being part of this today. Who else? I see Taufik. Yes, Taufik Oduwaye. Well done, sir, for being here. I know that you have been on the program all day long. I think that's the father of one of my proteges, if I recall correctly. Mr. Taufik, I think is the father of Mr. Ayotomiwa. God bless you, sir, for supporting our project even before we went live and for always saying good things about me and my projects. God bless you, sir. A t-shirt for Mr. Taufik Oduwaye. And I see Madam Oyeronke Sonny, who was here very early, says, all eyes on the great motherland, Africa. Lovely song. That means she was here at the beginning when we played Muguland the Beautiful. Congratulations, ma. And I appreciate you for being here today. I see Bishop Ibro. Bishop Ibro is actually one of our senior executives in the group. So I'm not giving him a t-shirt. I'm giving it to his wife, Madam Lara Zion. A cap and a t-shirt for you right there. I know they have two beautiful kids. So the cap for the boy, the t-shirt for you. Nothing for the bishop. The bishop is part of our senior officers. We made the t-shirt together. Okay, who else? I see Grace Okafor. Yes. She's one of the first to go and subscribe to the channel. Yes, if you subscribe to the channel today, we are going to see your emails there. We are going to send you a free copy of the book. Okay, if you cannot make arrangement to get the physical one, we will give you the digital. So, but the physical is what we are giving. We make arrangement to pay for your shipping, but you also get the digital one if you want. Of course, my longtime friend, my special Irene Adin. I know you are in London. Okay, so you win a t-shirt just for being here. I don't know when you're going to get it, but I'll pack it in my bag. Next time I come to London, or you can tell them where to drop it for you in Lagos. I know you also travel to Nigeria a lot. That's a great friend, a sister, literally, who always supports everything I do. Okay, God bless you, my sister. I love you so much for supporting this project and sending some of your young ones there to come and learn from our program. God bless you so much. Irene from London, you are highly beloved. Okay, who else do I have here that I have not yet given? Prince Taiwo Adeji. Yeah, you are part of the Fish for Life team. He's not part of the video team, but he's doing a great job at the Fish for Life. Definitely a cap for you. Please help me note what I'm giving you, Mr. Oyeleye and Madam Gold, wherever you are listening to this, so that we can sort it out for them. Prince Taiwo Adeji, congratulations. A special cap for you. Okay. Somebody is saying you can't hear me. I don't know what. Can you guys not hear me well? Can you guys hear me? Am I just talking to my first self? But anyways, recorded.
We can hear you, sir. I can hear you clearly, yes, sir.
Mr. Chris Eluba. Yes. One of our top bloggers out there. He was also here for some time. I don't know if he's still on the thread now. But congratulations, sir. They will be sending you a T-shirt. You'll be contacting my colleagues at this number and making arrangement about how to get it. I know you work in Ikeja, so it should be very easy for you to just drive down there and collect your T-shirt or make arrangement for them to drop it for you. If there's transportation to drop it for you, then you are going to be making the payment for that so that there is no confusion as to what you are getting and what you are not getting. But we appreciate you so much, sir, for being here tonight and for supporting this Eboigbe Osai. Congratulations for being here. Also, a T-shirt for you, and you also subscribe to the channel, so you are going to be getting a free copy of the print version of this book if you want. And if you cannot make arrangement for the print, we will give you the digital copy of the book just to say thank you for being on the broadcast tonight. My special sister Clementina Olomu, one of our press consultants and one of the TV personalities who has a TV program doing great and always saying good stuff about our Fish for Life program. Thank you so much for all that you do for me, especially, and all that you do for the little that we are doing for Nigeria. Because many people don't even know how many people we train for free every month. People like Clementina Olomu helps us to give great publicity for our work. Thank you so much for your selfless effort on our behalf. Who else deserves one on this call that I can see right now? That's it for now. But I want to appreciate everybody. We continue to give even after this. I will continue our show. Muguland show continues. It's not an everyday show, but we're probably going to be here tomorrow about 2-3 times a week just to talk about politics, lifestyle, religion generally. Now that we have launched the book, the show about the book is about Muguland generally, everything happening in Muguland, and we look forward to see many of you as the days go by. Again, this is Dr. Ope Banwo, the author of the book and the Chronicles of Muguland series. It's a series that is coming at you in book, in audio, in video, and in book to video, so that you can have an immersive experience of this. As I close right now, of course, I'm going to be playing the anthem for those of us who love Nigeria, but cannot, who sometimes get mad at our nation, but we cannot leave. Those of us who have a love-hate relationship with our country of birth. It drives us crazy, but it's in our blood. And of course, before we close out on that, there is no way I'm doing this without a big shout out to the obedience out there. For those of you, the young people, the Gen Z in Kenya, the Gen Z in South Africa, the obedience in Nigeria especially, the Gen Z, the NSAS people, all the youths that continue to fight for a better Nigeria. I call them the children of anger, the rise of the children of anger. I'm going to play your anthem for you before we close tonight. Here it comes, because I believe every nation is transformed by the anger of its youths. And I pray that your anger at things that are not working well in Nigeria right now, it will not go down until Nigeria begins to improve, until Kenya begins to improve, until Ghana begins to improve. Embrace your nickname, embrace that anger, but channel it to positive things happening in your country, not unnecessary fight or unnecessary dragging, but dragging that leads to positivity. I celebrate you. I salute you. This song was written especially for you, and the video was done for you by the Video 360 Collective as a part of us celebrating the youths of nations all over Africa. Enjoy the Children of Anger. When I come back, I'll be closing the show finally.
They call us reckless, they call us wild, but we're the voice of the unheard child. For too long we've watched them steal and deceive. Now we march, cause in hope we believe. Locked up in chains, they try to make us fall, but we stand tall, we're answering the call. Persecuted, but we won't be tamed. For Muguland's freedom, our fires inflame. We are the children of anger, fighting for the truth. Born from love for our land, the fire of the youth. We stand unbound, unbroken by the lights. With Muguland in our hearts, we rise, we rise. The streets are burning with the passion of the brave. No chains can hold us, no power can enslave. They say we're rebels, but we know we're right. Corruption crumbles when we unite. On social media, in the open streets, our voices thunder, refusing defeat. They throw us in cells, accuse us of treason, but we keep fighting, for we are the reason. We are the children of anger, fighting for the truth. Born from love for our land, the fire of the youth. We stand unbound, unbroken by the lights. With Muguland in our hearts, we rise, we rise. We fight for the future, we fight for the land. With hearts full of fire, we make our stand. They can't break our spirits, they can't make us fall. In the name of Muguland, we answer the call. We are the children of anger, fighting for the truth. Born from love for our land, the fire of the youth. We stand unbound, unbroken by the lights. With Muguland in our hearts, we rise, we rise. We are the anger, we are the flame. For the love of Muguland, we'll fight in her name. With unyielding hearts, we'll carry the fight. In the dark of corruption, we'll be the light.
That's it today, guys. For those of you back home, I appreciate you. For every one of the team members that I've saluted earlier, starting from Steven, to Gotamuno, to Ayotomiwa, to all those people that played a great part in making this a success. Mr. Ayo Bakari, thank you so much for being here every day for this launch. Countdown, we have Mr. Lord Samuel, and the rest of the team. I really don't want to forget anybody today. Let me really look for their name. Emeka Daniel, I haven't mentioned it tonight. You did an amazing work as part of the team. Mr. Daniel, forgot his last name now. Well, Steven, Daniel
Omotara.
Daniel Omotara. God will not forget you in Jesus' name. Daniel Omotara, great job. Muiwa Luko, Oyidamola, all of you know yourself, right? You know Daddy got it covered. Thank you guys so much for being part of the project. Every one of you, Olufunke Ado, of course, always helping out in every part of this. Mr. Bayo Babatunde, thank you so much. Mr. Eric, Mr. Eric Philip, and Bishop Ibro Zion. Every one of you that played one part or the other in this project, I especially appreciate you. Go Tamuno, our coordinating manager. Thank you so much. Thank every one of you for an amazing work. I'm very proud of you. And I know that the results of this quadruple launch will show that you have really done great work for society. We have the video version. We have the audio version. We have the video version. Just enjoy yourself all through as we celebrate the break of a whole new brand of book writing. You don't just write a book now. We create an immersive experience for everyone that gets a copy of this book. And as we go, take care. God bless. Remember again, this is just a work of fiction. It is not based on the exact true story. It is inspired by true life events. Enjoy it. Learn the issues that have been raised inside of the book, and don't take it more than what it is. It's entertainment. Mr. Ayo, closing words, if you have one.
Yeah, well, thank you, Ope, for having me. Thank you, Stephen, for being here. Sega, thank you. I thank Sega for also being here. Fantastic outing today. As we open the success of this book to the public today, I pray that this book enlightens people's political mindset and opens a new world of possibilities onto what needs to be, what needs to change in Africa, and what needs to come of age in terms of the Gen Zs and the expectations of people and the political direction of leaders. Dr. Ope Banwo, fantastic work so far. Stephen, fantastic team. I thank you all. May God bless you. Thank you so much for being here today. I look forward to seeing more of you. God bless.
All righty. For those of you who have made comments on the thread, thank you so much. Please go follow our channel. That is where the real magic is going to be happening in the coming days. The YouTube channel for Muguland Nation. Please go there, youtube.com/@Muguland Nation. Make sure you subscribe and get notified of every episode as it comes out every day. Over the next 30 to 45 days, we are going to be rolling out chapters of this book in video format so that you can enjoy season 1 of the Chronicles of Muguland series. We are starting with the Kingmaker of Muguland. And now we close with the national anthem, or rather the diaspora anthem for people like us who cannot stop. Mr. Stephen, thank you so much, all right, for being here, for being part of this project. God bless you.
Muguland forever. Though you break my heart, I can't run away. No matter how hard, through the pain, the struggle, I'm still holding tight. Muguland forever. You are my love, my fight. 5 years in school, now I'm stuck in the rain. A degree in my hand, but no job to gain. I try to move on, but I keep looking back. Muguland, you've got me still on track. Brothers breaking backs for a little pain. Enough to survive, but we live day to day. I could hate you for all of the tears we cry, but Muguland, you've got my soul in the sky. Muguland forever. Though you break my heart, I can't run away. No matter how hard, through the pain, the struggle, I'm still holding tight. Muguland forever. You're my love, my fight. Leaders who promise but never come through. We suffer in silence till we push through. We scream out in anger but it fades in the air. Yeah, Muguland's in my veins, I can't leave you there. The roads are rough, the power's never on. Muguland forever. Though you break my heart, I can't run away. No matter how hard, through the pain, the struggle, I'm still holding tight. Muguland forever. You're my love, my fight. 5 years in school, now I'm stuck in the rain. A degree in my hand, but no job to gain. I try to move on, but I keep looking back. Muguland, you've got me still on track. Brothers breaking backs for a little pain. Enough to survive, but we live day to day. I could hate you for all of the tears we cry, but Muguland, you've got my soul in the sky. Muguland forever. Though you break my heart, I can't run away. No matter how hard, through the pain, the struggle, I'm still holding tight. Muguland forever. You're my love, my fight. Leaders who promise but never come through. We suffer in silence till we push through. We scream out in anger but it fades in the air. Yeah, Muguland's in my veins, I can't leave you there. The roads are rough, the power's never on. Floods hit our homes but somehow we're strong. I dream of a life in a faraway land, but Muguland, you're the home I can't disband. Muguland forever. Though you break my heart, I can't run away. No matter how hard, through the pain, the struggle, I'm still holding tight. Muguland forever. You're my love, my fight. We curse and we cry, we say that we're done, but when the day's over, you're still the one. We try to escape, but we carry you to Muguland, Muguland, I belong to you. Your rivers, your skies, your streets full of pain. Somehow they call me back again. I love you, I hate you, I can't walk away. Muguland, you own my heart every day. Muguland forever. Though you break my heart, I can't run away. No matter how hard, through the pain, the struggle, I'm still holding tight. Muguland forever. You're my love, my fight. Muguland forever. Though you break my heart, I can't run away. No matter how hard, through the pain, the struggle, I'm still holding tight. Muguland forever. You're my love, my fight. The pain, the struggle, I'm still holding tight. Muguland forever. You're my love, my fight.